Welcome to Voxson Oval, Graham Road, Aspley for NEAFL TV. This is round 19. The Aspley Hornets at home to the Sydney Swans, streaming live on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. I'm Michael Price, and joining me today is Riley Staraj. Riley, reckon this is going to be a cracking game. The conditions are great. Wind just favouring the end to the left as we see it.
Pleasure to be with you as always, Pricey. I have been waiting for this one all week. Of course, it is Heritage Round this week for the Aspley Hornets, and if there's two clubs in the NEAFL that have a history against each other, it's these two. Of course, they played in a grand final 2014. They played in a couple other finals games, and normally these two go right down to the wire. It's going to be a fantastic day, a fantastic game, and very important in the context of the ladder heading into the last couple of weeks.
It's going to be interesting with the Sydney Swans. They've got 12 listed players, 10 academy players. Some really interesting stories in here as well that we'll talk about throughout the game. But they really have all it up against them, I think, here against a very experienced Aspley outfit. Kieran Jack is the late out for Sydney, and he's been replaced by Reed van Hoysted, who was the emergency. As named for Aspley, it means Henderson, Nellis and Dale all out. They were the emergencies, and they look in good nick, Aspley. They returned to form last week, Riley, against Redland, and really put their foot on their throat.
They certainly did. Of course, they're a very high-scoring game down there in Redlands. They've won 7 of their last 8. They had a slight hiccup a couple of weeks ago against Sydney University, but I think they're pretty primed for a very big back end of the year and try and make a charge at the flag. They've set themselves up very nicely. They look like a very settled lineup in the last couple of months, very consistent in their application, and I think they've started to really get the systems that Daniel Webster has tried to teach them.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Riley will take care of everything from the first bounce, and just noting, as Riley mentioned, the Aspley Heritage Jumpers, and they are in honour of their first several years as a footy club, 64 to 69, I believe it was, where they wore the brown with the yellow sash before they went to the Hornets Bumblebee jumper. And really looking forward to this one. NEAFL TV round 19. This is Riley Staraj.
So just about to get underway. It'll be Spencer against Amadi in the ruck. That'll be one to monitor as the day goes along. There's the opening bounce. Rucks go at it. Give the honours to Amadi that time. Bulch gets immediately tackled from McInerney. Amadi goes again really hard at James Ives. And we'll have a stoppage. Of course, James Ives last week had 11 clearances in that win against Redlands. He'll be looking to have a similar output this afternoon. As we go at it once again. Spencer got front position, won the tap down. It comes off hands, eventually fed out. Thurlow will get the first inside 50 here for the Swans. No mark taken off the hand, trying to get it out of their foot. Couldn't quite. Aspley have got the numbers, and they're just willing to tie it up once again. It'll be a stoppage about 40 metres out from the attacking goal of the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, the intent's there. Dougie Lawrence just coming up with the ball for Aspley. So it's Noel versus Spencer in the ruck. Give that one to Spencer. I think it might have bounced off his shoulder. Wicks tried to extricate the ball and ends up coming out for Aspley via Craven. He just toes it towards Murphy. Did well to actually body his opponent out, but there goes Stoddart. Taps it forward for Thurlow from 55. Lowers the eyes. Oh, it's cut off there. Well done again by the Aspley defence, and Dougie Lawrence takes care of it yet again.
So Lawrence was named in one of their best last week in that win over the Bombers. With that prodigious left foot, we'll send it towards the wing position. Amadi, well, he had side on it, but you can see the effect of that breeze. That's carried that over the fence quite comfortably.
Geez, it held up there too, didn't it, Riley?
It certainly did. So you reckon it'll probably be maybe a 3-goal breeze at the moment. Potential for more. But McKellar's got the football for the Swans. And he's basically going to look to send it right back from whence it came. And, well, I think he's actually kicked that into the car park and hit a couple of cars in the process. So a little bit of kick to kick. Both teams just trying to adjust to the conditions. It is a beautiful day, but it is very windy, it must be said.
Yeah, well, the Eck is in town, and that's usually what happens. As soon as the show bags are open, the wind comes with it. The wind's always there. Ben Hunter's looking at me saying, you haven't been around long enough to realise when the exhibition's in town, the winds come with it, Ben. And that's exactly what's happened again. It's almost 3 out of bounds on the full in a row, but it's come off hands. We'll get a throw in. You ever nearly been blown off the Ferris wheel, Ben? It's not good. Over the other side, there's a throw in. Amadi versus Spencer. Bit of a wrestle there in the ruck contest. Great tackling effort came from McKellar. Ball stuck underneath. Gets a pat on the head from all of his teammates. Last man coming up is Tom Bulch.
So a few early stoppages here. Neither team really getting ascendancy. Neither ruckman got at it because the wind blew it away. McInerney's going after the hand pass, but it's socked off the ground for Aspley, and they'll be able to try and attack through Templeton. Well, he thought he might have broke the tackle there of Wicks, but Wicks has been paid the free. There's a little bit of push and shove and what have you. Sam Wicks has been in very good form in season 2019 at the NEAFL level. You feel like he's got a very good future ahead of him. And he's just going to send it long, and you can see the effect of that breeze. That has carried the ball quite significantly. Spoiled off the hands of Arnold, going towards Hurst, who's trying to pursue it first there, though, for the Hornets is Ives, but it's gone out of play. And it looks like at least early, Sydney are just very content to attack long, try to use that wind advantage as much as possible.
Just use the territory advantage. We're going to get a throw in at Sydney's right half forward. You can just see the trees behind on NEAFL TV. Swirling breeze. Castledine, ground level, tries to get it out. Just handball it straight into the legs of McKellar, and they tackle each other into the ground. So it's a bit of a arm wrestle to start proceedings here for NEAFL TV, round 19 of Voxson Oval. Aspley and the Sydney Swans. Marty gets it down. Doesn't go very far. It's towed forward by Wicks again. Here's a chance. But once again, it's just going to be buffeted over the boundary line. Taking it there was Jackson Barling. We'll get another throw in, similar spot. So that might be the dead pocket where the ball's going to be stuck for a great part of the day when it's down this end, Riley.
Well, it certainly looks like that in early stages. Amati, well, he got decisive body position, sends a ball inside 50. But it's gone out of play, and Michael Knoll just sees that over the fence. So this wind is really wreaking havoc early here. Going down to that left end of screen, and looks like there's going to be a fair bit of play on the outer side of the ground. It's brought back in towards the halfback position. Big fly, no mark taken from Spencer. I don't even think he really got a hand off it. Kick inside 50, but Aspley have got it covered quite comfortably. And they're going to be able to repel. And Jordan Hayden, he's going to look and head basically back right to the wing. The target's Ives, but this kicking skills early. They're going to have to adjust to these conditions. I don't think they're doing it that well so far either side.
But it does actually affect not only when the ball hits the boot, but the actual ball drop itself. And when the breeze is this stiff, it can make it very difficult. Making excuses for the players, but it's got to be said. Bulch, Payne, got the handball away to Craven. He controlled it, had a bounce. Well done. Cutting back in Ives. That's a wobbly right footer. It's going to be cut off for the Swans. Taken out there by Flanagan. Long kick down the wing. Well done by Bulch at the back. Just pulled it in with the 1 met. Good grab. Right next to the boundary line. Let's see what he can do down here. It's a long kick to the pack. At the back was Stackelberg. Cody. He tries to go again. Templeton shot out the handball to Castledine. He loops one over the top to Spencer. The big fella tries to get it back into Templeton at ground level. Goes left, right. Loops the handball over. Here's Payne. He bangs it inside 50. First chance for Aspley. Front and centre was Murphy. Couldn't quite take it. Ends up with Ives. Could have been taken high. No, the Swans will get out of there. Looping handball again. It's going to come to Gross. Gross just barrels it inside 50. It bounces, almost beats everybody, but the Swannies are out of.
And it was a good kick out from Melican too to at least get the territory, and this is a real chance for the Sydney Swans. Going is Rose. He'll take a bounce. He has got daylight and grass ahead of him. He's just cantering on. That's 4 bounces. Sets himself up. Kicks inside 50. Hurst can't take the mark. Off hands. Oh, Sydney, they've stuffed this up, it must be said. They had all the time, the territory, and the ascendancy, but it was good defensive pressure here from the Hornets, and Jasper Craven's got the free on the last line of defence. He'll go wide. Well, he's turned it over, and James Rose, he's a prodigious kick. I reckon he's going to have a shot from about 50, or at least attempt to.
I'm still getting grief from Ben Hunter about the Ekka wins. He's realising what that's all about. Welcome to South East Queensland in August, Ben.
Of course, the Ekka has started in the last day or so. So Rose, to try and get the first score of the game, we've played 7 minutes. Instead, he'll just set it up. A sort of a place kick. Spencer gets a big 25-metre spike, goes to the back. McInerney tries to feed a hand pass away. Foot almost breaks the tackle, got the hands up to Kilpatrick, who fumbled immediately. And this is just going to be tied up, and we're going to have a stoppage. Just to remind you, umpires this afternoon, Jonathan Angus, Sam Wetton and Sam Ward.
It's umpire Wetton who throws it up this time. Amati gets it down, but once again the ruckmen are just dropping it at their feet, and it's very congested, so it's going to be very hard to extract this ball. It's been pinged. The big fella, Jake Spencer, has been pinged for a throw after Amati got around him. So with the wind at his back, it's half a chance here. Go back and have a ping at it, mate. Nobody else has touched the scoreboard yet. We've played 7 minutes 50 of the first term on NEAFL TV. A fair dinkum arm wrestle between these two sides, Aspley and Sydney. A lot to play for. There's top 4 final spots available here. Amati leans back, starts left, curls through. That's the way to do it. Swans on the board. 1 straight. Aspley yet to score, 8 gone first term.
That was fantastic work there from Joel Amati. Goal number 13 for him in season 2019. He just worked that very nicely. He accounted for the wind brilliantly, it must be said. He just let it work itself back, and that's probably a deserved goal for the Swans just in terms of pure territory. They've had a lot of the ball in their forward half, and they take an early lead here. Of course, they want to get a bit more capitalisation on the territory with this breeze behind their back.
Yeah, once the ball actually gets down inside 50 for you, if you can lock it in there, it's really hard for the defence to get it out there via kick. They have to run it out, so makes it very difficult, but it was a smart start for the Sydney Swans.
So first blood to the Bloods. We'll get ourselves underway again. Umpire bounces the ball. Ruck's going at Amati. Well, he tried to leap at it, but completely missed it. McKellar goes after it hard. He's got a couple of metres, but then half fumbles it, goes out the way of McInerney, feeds a hand pass further wide. Stoddart tries to work himself inside over the top to Swain. He couldn't quite get it away, and it's been turned over. Well done from Payne. Spencer, hand pass over the top. This is a better build-up here from the Hornets. The kick inside 50, finding Freeman. Couldn't quite take the mark. Aspley have the numbers at the bottom of the pack. Coughlin can pick this up. He's got an option in the square in Batchelor. If he found him, he couldn't quite. Instead, they feed it further back. Ives now will set it up towards 25 out. Batchelor couldn't take the mark. Comes off his hands. McInerney lays the saving tackle. The Swans get the cavalry to arrive. Murphy's thereabouts. And good pressure there from Sydney. They were in all sorts defensively, outnumbered, but they've scrambled well enough, and they've got a chance here just to tie it up and repel outside of their 50.
Ball up. Spencer straight up in the air. Second tap. Freeman can't quite. Coughlin gets barreled. Ball stuck underneath him. We'll have to do another ball up here. No, they've flicked it out. Stoddart, dangerous handball. Going to be cut off. John O'Giles goes right, then left, then a speculating one. Comes out now. It was Arnold who was tackled into the ground, and boy, they're tackling well, the young Sydney Swans outfit as well. They're really making it difficult for Aspley to move. Just about every player on the field is in front of the centre circles in Aspley's direction. Amati did well to direct the ball down the ground, gets his own clearance, scrubs it out. Now Gross is tracking it, but it goes beyond him. Lawrence, and now for Sydney, Rayner. They battle it over the boundary line on the outer side, and we'll get another throw in on the central wing position. 10.5 gone in the first term. Sydney, 1 straight. Aspley yet to score.
Interesting thing to notice there from the Swans. They basically pushed all their numbers towards their defensive 50. This wind can't be emphasised enough. Looks like they'll try and get it over the back, but Spencer got it down that time, fed the hand pass away. It was turned over, and the clearance away came through. Now Rose gets a hand pass. Sydney have the numbers. If they can get it, he'll get the hands back. 35 out, sets it on its way, and that is number 2 for the Swans. Good start here for Sydney. Away from home, just what they would have wanted. 2 straight 12 to Aspley, yet to score. 11.5 gone opening term.
Looking dangerous. James Rose as well, of course, 38 disposals in last year's grand final in a losing side. He was superb, the boy from Sturt, but he's that kind of player. He's enigmatic, I suppose. He's very, very skillful, as you just saw. Can run. Just needs to get that consistency going, and if he continues in the vein he started with, it's going to be a very good day for him.
You certainly would think so, and something that Aspley's going to have to monitor. Of course, he does have very good leg speed. And he certainly has the potential to break away from their midfield and attack the scoreboard like he did just then.
Just having a look at their setup. So he's having a pure run in there. He's got Cody Stackelberg at the moment standing next to him as umpire Sam Ward is about to bang it back down in the middle of Voxson Oval and bang it to the left. So we'll start it again. Not another bang. He'll throw this one up. Hardest skill in footy is bouncing the ball. That's a bit easier. Well done by Noel, got it down, but Templeton roved it beautifully. Explodes out of the congestion, has a bounce. Long shot, curling back, and well read there by Melican. Just being held off there by Jono Freeman, but he's still got a fist to the ball. 1 behind Aspley's first score, so it's 12 playing 1 after 13 minutes of the first turn.
Stoddart Goes quickly, then sets a spearing pass to Noel. It was a good one as well, and good lead from the big man. Biggie certainly is 205 centimetres, picked up in the mid-season draft. Sends it towards the wing position. In come the Flyers. Spoil the back from Lawrence. Sydney have got it over, and Hurst, the other mid-season draft pick, off the left foot, will set it inside 50. It's a good-looking kick. Gross has been pushed out. Being pursued there from the Swans from Rayner towards the square. It's hit the post. Well done from Gavin Gross, the veteran. He did just enough to put pressure on, and he's forced the behind. 2-1 to 1 behind. 13 and a half gone opening term.
I was going to say, young Josh Rayner would have the advantage in leg speed and age, but not experience. Well done by Gross, and that's a typically beautiful long kick. Fisted forward for Sydney, but it's going to come back with interest. Cody Stuckelberg goes out wide. Once again, though, ball bouncing over the boundary line. As soon as it gets over to that outer side of the ground, it's going to head straight towards the boundary. We'll get a throw in on the outer wing. You can see in those bushes in your shot there, just behind the boundary umpire, swirling and heading in that direction to the left of screen and to the right forward pocket, more or less. Throw in. Spencer, that's a short one too. Noel read it best, just kept going. Handball over the top, well done there. McInerney. It's going to be a long kick to a dangerous spot. Dawson's reading it, but it bounces again to the right forward pocket. It's not a bad kick for touch, I suppose, Riley. If you're looking for field position, get it down there, get another stoppage. They're doing very well there. And this is a really interesting battle between Michael Noel and Jake Spencer as well.
Certainly a big test for Noel. Of course, Spencer being one of the premier ruckmen in the NEAFL over the last couple of years. Such a man mountain, and well, he's going to go uncontested here. It dropped short, tapped it towards his feet, but it didn't work out well. Kilpatrick fed the hands out, shot at goal there from Wicks. Just to the left. 2-2 to 1 behind. 13 points the margin. Sydney might think they deserve a little bit more on the scoreboard, but they've got the lead, and that's important when you're playing away from home.
Oh, absolutely. Tough ground to play on for visitors here at Voxson Oval at Graham Road, Aspley. It's a long kick by Jackson Allen. Through hands. At the back pane, took the tackler. That's Melican. He's trying to get it out and ends up in the hands of Templeton again. He's got some great speed away from stoppages. He misread it though. It was well done there by the Sydney defence to actually just hold him up as he burst through. Well done by Arnold. Picked it up, got tackled though. They're doing beautifully, this young Sydney side, as far as their tackling. And then you see some of the more experienced players getting over to Jacob Dola, who provided that contest, and patting him on the shoulders. Jono Giles can't pick it up for Aspley. Once again, the Swans going in very hard, extracting the handball. It could fall nicely there for Kilpatrick, and it didn't quite. He's going to get it again. Couldn't quite get the hands to it. Boy, this is hard footy. James Rose crashed the pack, got the handball out. It's going to come back to Dole. He has a snap. Jeez, it's frenetic inside forward 50 for Sydney. They're really putting the forward pressure on to keep the ball down there as well.
They certainly are. I don't know if the Aspley coaching staff will be too happy with this long ball movement into a breeze. Good kicking though from Allen. This might be their chance. Payne gets the hand pass over the top. Well, again, the skill error is just letting them down. Noel got the hand pass over the top. Parks tries to break the tackle. It's gone out of play. Yeah, I don't think they're using the ball very well at the moment, Aspley. They're just trying to clear it out when they could be using their hands and try and work their way through it in what is a very, very stiff breeze at the moment. Yeah,
when you see somebody with the power in their leg like Gavin Gross with the ball being held up like 10 metres short, makes it very difficult. This throw-in short again. Spencer reads it this time. Noel tackles him. There's no effort to get rid of the ball. Good tackling effort. We'll get a ball up. It's 55 metres out. There's a fair dinkum arm wrestle, but it's a really intriguing game of footy at the moment. The Swans 15, Aspley just the couple of behinds. Wicks takes it over the boundary line. He and Tom Bolch get acquainted, up close and personal like, and we'll have another throw in. It's just stuck over that outer side.
It's at the right end of the ground for the Swans. There's the throw, and you can see the effect of that breeze because that curled quite significantly. Aspley trying to feed it out, but once again, there's just so much numbers around the ball here for the Swans. It's a game plan that really holds up well in the NEAFL competition. Aspley at the moment just struggling a little bit with the pressure. That's better though. Spencer went over the top to Templeton, got the kick towards the wing position. They'll be able to turn around, head inboard. It's a good kick to Batchelor, who's taken the mark right in the middle of Voxson Oval. It's an open forward 50. He's going to have to wheel and turn, and well, that's fortuitous for Murphy. Now, I don't know in this win he's going to have the leg, but he's got it about 50 out. He'll play on. Tries to go past Stoddart. Hand passes it wide. The option I don't think was necessarily the greatest. Working his way around was Connor Stackelberg. Then heads inboard. Sydney of just getting numbers around the contest. Then feeding out there. Eventually was Stackelberg. Kick towards Freeman. Towards the boundary line. Sydney, they are just scrambling so well. And Pink just gets a kick away. And you find the teammate in Swaney.
Yeah, Billy Murphy, that was an unusual option, but he obviously knew that he was going to get held up in the breeze, trying something different. Sydney bring the ball out now. Just willing to hold it up as well. So coming up now is McInerney. That's a long kick, and predictably, if you go close to the boundary line, it's going to blow over and go out of bounds on the full. We could get a world record for out of bounds on the full decisions today, Riley. We'll get a free kick. Gavin Gross will have it, so he's asking the trainer to just move out of the way. I'm going to have the big long run up here. He wants to get a long kick in. Goes towards the pocket. That's a really good mark by McInerney. Good stretch of the arms. And once again, Sydney just repelling that long ball.
So McInerney, about a 30-metre kicker. Marty couldn't take the mark, but did well on the second effort to eventually get a kick forward. Lawrence, though, playing goalkeeper. Switches it inboard. That's a good kick to Lipscomb, who can look to play on, but instead decides to hold it up, which might be the good option. Goes wide. Batchelor, he's under a bit of pressure, a little bit too fumbly for mine. Then goes back to Lipscomb. They've worked it out okay. Finds Allen. Probably one of the first times we've seen it on this broadcast wing, and it's a good kick as well. And you'll find Hayden. Now we'll send it forward. A high kick. Freeman's got to try and get to this, but Stoddart judged it beautifully. Gets there first. Freeman provides the pressure. Snap towards goal there from Bolch. It's going to bounce up and pitch for Giles. He's got to try and get past his opponent, but again, Aspley at the moment are just a bit too fumbly. They've tied it up, but at inopportune moments at the moment, the Hornets, they're just not really taking their opportunities.
Well, I'm also liking the attack on the ball. That was young Jacob Dole again, when you consider 18-year-old really attacking the ball hard against a hard man like John O'Giles there. Really good contest once again. That's stuck in the left forward pocket for Aspley. They want to get their first goal on the board here. 20 minutes gone. They've only got one behind so far. They are kicking against a reasonable breeze as well. It's got to be worth at least a couple of goals. So beautifully rove there. It was Cody Stackelberg. No, it was Ives, in fact. No, I was right the first time. No, second time. It is Ives. So Amati tackled him into the ground, let loose the ball, and we're going to get another free kick. So the Swans' defence doing beautifully at the moment.
Amati just hoiks it. Well, he sets it really up for a foot race. Players come from everywhere. Van Hoysted got the hand pass away. He did it well. Noel takes a bounce and then we'll just set it up over the top. Kilpatrick will be one of the pursuers. So is Barling. He can try to find Kilpatrick. Instead, he's tackled immediately from Lawrence. Well done from Aspley. Lipscomb, he's pursued but breaks the tackle nicely. Allen got a little bit of time and he usually has composure and he uses the ball beautifully. And I must emphasise beautifully. He finds Giles, who, well, he didn't really do himself any favours. And then he's gone for holding the ball. Well, I tell you what, in the review tape, he's not going to want to watch that one back. That was a sensational tackle that was laid, but it must be said, just let the Swans in. And Luke Parks is going to have a shot. He gives it the Rose, 49 out, sets it on its way. I don't think it's going to be a goal. It's gone to the right.
I have to say, when you get a shot from that distance with that breeze, Joel Amati showed the Swans how to do it from more or less that same spot. Just aim a little left and it's coming back out for Aspley now. Dougie Lawrence, who laid a fantastic tackle there to save a goal. Kicks it long. Bolch again. That's another strong mark from Bolch. This time it's a juggling effort. It's been good overhead so far. Left foot, wobbler. Goes past Castledine. Milliken. He's tackled beautifully. Taken into the ground. Ives. Templeton. No, sorry, that's Nellis now. Tackled into the ground. And again, it's stop-start. The Swans are making Aspley just stop-start all the time. They haven't been able to get any flow into their game so far.
They certainly haven't. And I think they're struggling with this pressure at the moment as it's going to be tied up once again. But opportunities where Aspley had chances to move the ball, they've just been a bit more fumbly than you usually expect from them. It's costing them a bit at the moment. Bottom of the pack. He's tying it once again, now trying to eventually extract it. Laying good tackle, there's foot. And we'll do this all again. So if you've just joined us, Sydney dominated the territory, really dominated the game with this breeze, but they've only got a 15-point lead to show for it. Spencer, well, he tried to sock it, so did Rose, but it's gone over the boundary. And we'll have another throw in.
Just having a look at some of the stats so far for Sydney. McInerney and Rose have 6 disposals apiece. Wicks with 5. And for Aspley, it's Templeton with 5 and Gross with 4. So we're over the outer side at left half forward for Aspley. Only the one behind on the board to 2 goals 4 to the Swannies. Once again, Rose goes in. Can't quite take the ball. Craven can. Got a handball away, but just succeeded in giving it to McInerney, who now plants it back over the wing. Noel took the pack with him. Lawrence to the back. He's been crucial so far. Just got a nudge. Didn't quite get the decision. And then a tackling effort there from Hurst. It was well done by young Hurst. We'll get a ball up at right half forward. But they're really making Aspley play under extreme pressure, this young Swan side. Spencer got rid of it, and then Castledine. McInerney, who's been important so far. Thurlow. He got away to Ives, who got belted immediately, and there could have been a bit of a head clash there. One of the young Swans players, and Wicks, I think, is just feeling the effects of that, and Ives. So they both get up, exchange a few glances, and we'll get another ball up.
Amati decisively wins it down. Wicks couldn't extract it. Sydney eventually get it away. McInerney will get a kick towards the forward 50. This looks like it's just going to stay in the field of play. It comes off hands. Hurst, he read that beautifully, but his hand pass was deflected off of Craven, out of play.
So Cody Hurst, obviously from the Eastern Rangers, 19-year-old, came in the mid-season draft. He's a good-looking player.
He certainly is. I like his ball move. And his running patterns are quite impressive for a 19-year-old. Just watching him really for the first time as it goes towards the boundary line. Still in the field of play. Aspley keep it in. Now Castledine got the hand pass away, then extract a kick forward. Went over the back. Cody Stackelberg couldn't affect the contest, and this could help the Swans because it falls in the hands of Thorne towards the forward 50. Hurst is the target. Got a spoil away and at least affected the contest. Good tackle from Craven. It's fed out. That's beautifully. Parks, 49 out. Tries to chisel a pass in the rows. Can wheel around. Gave the hand pass. Well, I don't know if the hand pass to the big man there in Noel was really necessary. Or it wasn't Noel. It was Rayner. But nonetheless, it's going to be a free kick, and Aspley can rebound and try and get some oomph.
Well, into the middle of the ground as there's a bit of argy-bargy between the two big men as Freeman has it in the middle of the ground. He's got a lead going and kicks it nicely for Stackelberg, the older. He goes back for a second effort, gets his toe to it, miraculous, and Nellis runs in. Well done, Connor Stackelberg. Kept his feet, nutmegged the fullback with the kick, and Aspley get their first goal. 2-4-16, 1-1-7, so it's a 9-point margin to the Swannies after 26 of the first quarter.
Yeah, certainly very much needed for the Hornets. I thought Stackelberg, he probably should have taken that mark. He had the body position, but just the persistence, and as you mentioned, to keep his feet in that situation and the composure to ride the tackle, just get a boot into it. It was very nicely well done there from the Hornets, and that's one they certainly needed late stages of this opening term. And it brings the margin back to 9 points. So back in the middle. It looks like, at least for the moment, Amati's doing the majority of the ruck work in these centre bounces. There's a whistle.
That's just an official warning for 666. Yep.
And we'll do it all again. So back in the middle, rucks go at it. Amati got the leap early. The soccer was extracted. It come off the hands. Amati tries to go it again, eventually picks it up, then got a tap on. I think that might be high on McInerney. And there's a whistle, and it is going to go the way of the Swans. And they'll be able to go towards the broadcast wing, although that's a terrible kick. Coughlin's got it. Aspley have a chance. The kick inside 50's good to Stackelberg. Of course, that's Connor. Now, he's a raking kick, so he can try and set it up from 50 metres out towards the square. It just faded late. I don't think Jono Freeman was too happy, but they're starting to get a little bit of scoreboard pressure here, the Hornets. 1-2-8, they're 8 points down. 27.5 gone first quarter.
Gee, James Nellis was in the right forward pocket by himself for a good minute there. Just the vision not there for Connell Stackelberg, but He's responsible for most of their score at the moment as the Swans try to bring it out. Oh, good contest. Gee, that's a hard one between Van Hoysted, the young man, and Jordan Hayden. And Van Hoysted gets up straight away, the boy from Newcastle City. Well done. That was a good hit. Throw in. Ruck contest, Spencer versus Amati. It's intriguing. Amati gets it and Rose gets the clearance. Enter Gavin Gross. Oh, and gets tackled in the end. Lets loose the ball and gets a little bit extra. Puts a little bit of chili on top of it. Does Kyle McKellar after that tackle. Just says, cop that one, Grossy.
I don't think you'd expect that normally. It was a good kick from McKellar too. He tries to find Rayner. It bounced a couple of times. He's got tackled immediately from Payne. And he's going to be, I think, maybe a little bit unlucky there because it's a holding the ball decision going the way of the Hornets. It's good for them. So Payne will go wide. Be able to play on quickly here, Aspley. Running with that one. Oh, and that's a very dangerous option, but it's eventually turned around. Now the kick towards the forward 50. Freeman, the target, comes off the hands of Pink. Good spoil over the boundary line. And we'll have another throw-in. I think we're going to have a record for out on the fulls and boundary throw-ins today, the way it's going.
I think so. How about the body work by Toby Pink on Jono Freeman then?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Just really good stuff, because Jono Freeman's no slouch. We all know he likes to get down on Noosa Beach, as Kanga says, and pump those guns and all of that type of stuff. Great stuff from Pink. The Swans are going to be really giving it to Aspley today. Extracted there by the Hornets, but again, it's kicked out of bounds. We get another free kick, and it's coming back from the Sydney Swans.
Certainly is. So Pink towards the wing position. Huge pack of players. Spencer has front spot. Goes over the back. Payne was trying to pursue it, but it goes over the boundary, and we'll have another throw in. So 29.5 gone first quarter. I think with the way it stands, Aspley would take an 8-point deficit at quarter time.
Absolutely. It's been living in the Swans' forward half of the ground for most of the game.
So back at the contest, you're going to see that breeze effect again. He favoured Spencer. That should be a high tackle. That is a high tackle, I think. I thought it might have been a 50-metre penalty.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of push and shove going on. Nonetheless, it's a Swans free kick, and it's going the way of McInerney, who's been pretty busy in this opening term.
See, John O'Giles and the big fella in Joel Amati going at it. A long kick towards half forward. Big pack, and it falls to the feet. Swans extracted beautifully, though. Looping handball into the path of the player and Kilpatrick. Couldn't quite control it. Now it's tapped out by Aspley. Jackson Allen. Handball over the top. No, he was out of bounds when he received that handball, so the umpire's going to throw it in. Just loving the way they're going about it, the young Swans. We're talking a 12 listed AFL players, AFL listed players here, 10 academy guys running around. Aspley, a very strong, experienced unit. A couple of youngsters in there, and that's a non-contest between Noel and Spencer. The Swans do well. It's Luca Mason who's pulled down there. Once again, we'll get another ball up inside attacking 50 for the Swans, and this is what they've done so well so far, Riley, keeping the ball inside attacking area.
That they certainly have. Noel got the tap down. We'll have another stoppage, of course. Michael Nolly got 51 hit-outs last week against the GWS Giants in that defeat, so his ruck work cannot be doubted absolutely. He wins again over the back. It's a kick towards goal. Gross takes the mark defensively very well. And this is what Aspley have done well. They've been up against it a lot, but their defensive troops in this first quarter have been outstanding to really prevent a bigger lead. Gross, well, that is a massive kick towards the half-back wing position. It's off hands, goes out of play. But I think there's a lot to work on for Aspley at quarter time. I haven't loved their ball movement at the moment. They're missing a lot of shorter options for mine.
I think so, and that'll be addressed by Coach Daniel Webster at quarter time, methinks, as their ball use. But when it comes down to it, they'd be very happy, as you said before, the fact that it's only 8 points the margin. They're getting a free kick here as well. So late in the first term, there's another opportunity to score. Spencer's going to get this one. It goes against Amati, so perhaps that work that John O'Giles just put in on him behind the scenes might have affected him a little. Spencer kicks it towards the leading Freeman once again. Toby Pink all over Freeman, just smashes the ball over the boundary line. And we'll get another throw in on the outer side. 32 minutes gone in this first term. That's because there's been a hell of a lot of stoppages over on the other side where the wind's blowing directly.
Amadi and Spencer will resume hostilities again. Amadi wins the tap down. Trying to pick that up is Swaney. The bottom of the pack, Jackson Allen tries to extract it. Eventually gets a kick forward. Freeman the target. Pink, though, puts the body work in early. It goes over the back. Flanagan got the hands. Sydney have done well. Staraj trying to present on this half-back line. If the kick can hit him, it doesn't quite. They're under pressure. Well done there from Ives, but they got the hand pass eventually. And Sydney, well, it's quarter time, and Melican, I think he had daylight and grass ahead of him. But nonetheless, great quarter from the Sydney Swans. Feel like they might have wanted a little bit of more of a lead, and Jeremy Layla would want to address that conversion at quarter time. But if you look at a lot of the statistics, they've dominated pretty much all of them. They +8 in the clearances currently, +5 inside 50s. Hit-outs are relatively even. They've laid 4 more tackles, and they've had a lot more of the ball in control, and that's the important thing, in control early at the very least.
Absolutely. They lead by 8 points, the Sydney Swans, 2-4-16 to 1-2-8. The goal scorers, James Rose and Joel Amadi for Sydney, and Connor Stackelberg has the one for Aspley. When it comes to individual stats, McInerney is leading all comers on the field. He's had 10 disposals in the first quarter, magnificent in the back line. James Rose has had 8 disposals and 1 goal. Sam Wicks with 6 disposals. That's Sydney. When it comes to Aspley, Jake Spencer is the leading disposal winner on the ground with 6 touches, Templeton with 5, and Jasper Craven with 5. So you can see where the numbers are. Sydney dominant in those categories. It's quarter time here on NEAFL TV. We'll be back with the second quarter very shortly from Voxson Oval for NEAFL TV round 19. Welcome back to Voxson Oval. Graham Road, Aspley for NEAFL TV. It's round 19 Aspley at home to the Sydney Swans, streaming live on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. At quarter time, the Sydney Swans, the visitors, are up by 8 points, 2-4-16 to Aspley's 1-2-8. Michael Price and Riley Staraj calling it all for you here at Voxson Oval. And Riley, really good start by the Sydney Swans.
No, it was a fantastic start. They had a lot more numbers around the ball for mine, and they really put the pressure on when they needed to on Aspley. They've only got an 8-point lead to show for it, and the good thing for the Hornets is I think they've got a hell of a lot of upside, particularly with their ball movement. They will be going with the breeze in this second term. It'll be interesting to see how much that improves as this goes along.
Just having a look at all the statistical categories, it's relatively even. Swans with a little bit more of the ball, and the scoreboard where it counts at the moment is where they're leading by 8 points. But we'll start the second term. Umpire bangs it down in the guts. Spencer versus Amati. Amati gets this tap down, then goes back, gets his own clearance. He does that a lot, kicks it inside 50, immediately cut off by Gross. He's got a damaging left foot, and it's huge, in fact. Just see that go with the breeze, and it's well read there by Matthew Ling. Of course, we didn't see him in the first quarter. Riley's coming back from an Achilles.
And he sends a good kick as well. Gross, though, got the spoil. Barling did well on hands and knees. Fed it up to McInerney, who's been one of the best for the Swans in the opening term. Sends it long. Oh, that's a free kick against Thorne. It was good effort, but a little bit ambitious. And Dawson's got it. But yeah, Matthew Ling, first involvement we've seen in him today. You imagine he's going to be on managed game time as this one goes along for Sydney. It's good to see him out there. Dawson, good kick. Finds Giles, who had a couple of shaky moments in that opening term, it must be said. Goes inboard to Lawrence. Where does Dougie Lawrence want to go? There's not that much presenting, so
it's very stagnant.
It is very stagnant, and you don't expect this from the Hornets. It's quite interesting. He sends it in. It falls to Ives, who almost got on the first bounce and beat McKellar. Feeds a hand pass over the top to Payne. Breaks one tackle, goes to the big man in Spencer. Back to Payne. They might be able to get out if Ives can do well to break the tackle. He fed it out to Castledine. Left foot kicks a good one. And you'll find Connor Stackelberg, who took the mark about 75 metres out from goal, will wheel around, set it inside the forward 50. It comes off, well, it didn't come off hands because everyone fell over in Sydney. And Toby Pink, who has done a blanket job so far, and Freeman clears it away.
Oh, it's going to be a contest there. Well done by Arnold at the back. Craven picks it up, goes through traffic. Can he keep it in? No, he actually went out with the ball, so we're going to get a throw in. Just short of right half forward there for Aspley. Better ball movement from the Hornets, but as we pointed out, Riley, they look a little stagnant. They're not running as we seem free-flowing.
I don't think they've adjusted as well to the conditions as the Swans, it must be said. I think they're still going long far too often instead of looking for those shorter options and trying to pinpoint their way through this Sydney defence.
So Spencer in the ruck against Amati, loving this contest. Call that one a draw. Off the toes of Payne. Now John O'Giles, strong, goes through traffic, hooks it back around. And once again, it's going to beat Freeman and Co. over the boundary line. So yet another stoppage. But we'll see how Aspley handle this situation where the ball's camped in their forward 50 for most of the time. We saw how Sydney did, a little wasteful. See if the Hornets can actually do something from these stoppage situations.
Well, you'd assume they know the wind better at their home ground, but we certainly will see Spencer bodied out on Marty and then got half a tap down Murphy. Sharks it very well, feeds a hand pass back to Giles, who's been busy early in this second term. Not the greatest disposal though, and Stoddart just bombs it towards the middle, but Dawson, he was the last line there. Every player is in this forward half for the Hornets, and he'll just send it long, right back from whence it came. Freeman's going to try and position himself, so Spencer, it comes off the hands, punched away from the pack. Trying to pursue it towards the boundary. Getting it out. The Swans.
Just killing the contest.
Swaney.
Yeah, Swaney did well. Just killed the contest there. And Billy Murphy is just hovering. You can just see Cal Castledine trying to give him a chop out. His opponent tries to track him. Both ruckmen miss it. Coughlin, handball out. Coughlin might have been dealt with. No, he's actually illegal disposal. So the free kick's going to go to the Swans. Once again, Ling just chipping past to find Sam Wicks. Wicks comes back out now, looking for Pink. Freeman interfered, came in with the flight of the ball. Jono Freeman looks a little out of sorts today, Riley.
He does. He can have moments like that. He can have some games where he kicks his bags of 4 and 5, but when he's going like today, he's just not timing it very well. Anyway, nonetheless, the kick towards the wing position. Gross got the spoil. Swaney couldn't quite get it away. Going in hard there is Hayden. He's immediately wrapped up, so is Lawrence. And a lot of chatter here on both benches for both sides. We'll do it all again. It's a very interesting battle. I thought we might have seen more of Michael Knoll in these ruck opportunities, but it's been more of Marty. Spencer beat him that time. Hayden will try to feed it back to Cody Stackelberg, but he fumbled it, and McKellar lays a tackle on him. That's a brilliant one as well there from Kyle McKellar. That'll be another stoppage, and this suits the Swans just fine.
Yeah, Kyle McKellar, I love him. Apprentice carpenter he was, and still does it all. He goes again. Handball to McInerney. Just hacks it out of midair. Hurst goes a little high. Could have been a free kick there to Jackson Allen. Nothing doing, says the umpire. There's a little bit of barge coming on as McKellar's looking to get off the field, and the bench tells him to get back into the contest. He looks a bit worse for wear. Rose puts himself in, tackled. Wicks hooks it around. Now coming through, taking it was Liam Dawson, just sort of took that like a rugby league fullback waiting to be tackled and thrown into the ground. And it's still over the commentary side, which is a nice bit of respite for us, looking through our normal eyes and not the binoculars, as a Marty puts it inside 50. Front and centre, nicely roved there was Foot, hooks it around Foot, and not enough.
That did have a fair bit of hook on it, though, so I reckon that was going 10 metres out on the full.
I thought it was going there. But one behind results, so 17 plays 18. They extended by a point, the Swannies.
Allen goes short on the kick in. Finds Dawson. Dawson goes to Craven. He's such a revelation this year for the Hornets, Jasper Craven. He's provided a bit of spark. For them, he's been one of their better players. The kick towards the wing. It goes over the back of a Marty, and it just goes to a bit of grass. Coughlin will try and beat Ling, but Stoddart judged it beautifully. Then he worked himself very nicely. And he's done Templeton 3 times there, I reckon. Sends it right back towards the half-forward position. Big fly from Hurst to at least affect the spoil. Hand pass from Arnold now. Jasper Craven, we mentioned the speed. Takes a bounce. Will send it inside the forward 50. Freeman's the target. Had front spot. Pink-bodied him out again. Goes towards the back. Now it'll find Hayden. 49 metres out. Sets it on its way. And it's spoiled through for a point. But that's a bit better from Aspley. Going through the middle of the ground. They got it in there quickly. Brings that margin back to 8 points. 2-5 to 1-3. 7 gone into this second quarter.
Utilising their speed. So once again, the Swans are going to bring it out. This is a dangerous area to kick it to. Spencer did well to double hand it. It's back to Hayden. Going around now, Templeton. Left foot. Just has a long-range ping, and it's not coming back. I thought that might have been able to curl back in, but another behind. So they're peppering at the moment. Aspley 1-4-10 to Sydney 2-5-17.
So they'll be able to bring it back into play from Stoddart. He sends it very long, but tracking towards the boundary. Knoll had back spot at least, affected the contest. Massive tackle! And that was very well done from who else but 3-time MVP and Matt Payne.
Oh, that you stay tackled when you get hit like that.
You certainly do. Well, I think both ruckmen are holding, so no free kick. Rose gets it away, but Gross, he's probably been Aspley's best defensively. He's covered it very well. He's taken another mark right on the wing.
But he's going to eat those for breakfast, Gavin Gross. It's like with Aspley in the first term, hacking it out long. It's just going to come back with interest. Goes to the right forward flank. It was well done to provide a contest there. It was Tom Bolch who got a fist in to take it over the boundary line. So going to get another throw in right half forward. Aspley 7 points behind on their home deck. Hope you're enjoying it on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Michael Price and Riley Staraj calling all your action. There's Spencer. Lobs it up to Payne. Payne gets the handball out to Arnold once again over the boundary line. We'll do it again. The boundary line umpires are going to get an absolute workout over that other side.
It'd feel like a full upper body workout today, I reckon. The amount of times having to throw it in on that outer side. But we'll do it all again. There's the throw in. Spencer got front spot, did a half palm forward, but McInerney does well to break away and get a kick towards half forward, but Gross is there again. Hurst affects the contest, so does Craven. That was really well done there from Hurst to just force the spoil, because it looked like Gavin Gross had eyes on that one pretty comfortably.
Absolutely. Gross had the sit, and Hurst just presented himself in the middle of two Aspley players. So he got the 2-on-1, he killed the contest. Great work from the young man. He's done a couple of good things like that today. Noel slaps it down. Could have been taken without the ball, the Aspley player, but it dribbled over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in. So, of course, the breeze is actually going to our left of screen, but it is basically pushing the ball to the outer side of Voxson Oval here. Just to reiterate that, when you see the ball holding up, Spencer got rid of Noel. Noel followed up, though. The big fella did well, shot the handball out. It was half cut off. Comes back inside for Sydney, or almost juggling was Thorne. At ground level, running in, and there's our little mate Hurst again. He just deserved that goal, I reckon. He's done a couple of really good things, and he just showed a bit of blistering speed once he got the pill and just took off and kicked the goal. Simple as that. 3-5-23, plays 1-4-10.
Yeah, I really like some of the things he does. He's just, he seems to be in the right positions around contests. He read that beautifully, and he showed a quick turn of foot, and in these conditions, that's not the easiest finish to have on the run 30 out with a breeze, but he kept it low, and he hit the target very nicely, and it gives Sydney, in what is looking like will be a lower scoring game, a nice little buffer.
Well, I like the way Sydney are playing their footy at the moment. They're just really putting pressure on every Aspley possession. When the ball is in dispute, they're hitting the contest with pace and with intent, and that's how young Cody Hurst hit that contest. Hit it with intent, hit the pace, and then precision to knock it over into the wind.
So back in the middle, Ruck's contestant. Spencer jumped a little early, so Noel got the tap down in the contest. Templeton tries to extract it on hands and knees. Noel fed a hand pass away, but Arnold tried to give the don't argue. And it was a good tackle from Wicks.
That's the intent on the tackling too.
They're getting so much more numbers around the contest for mine at the moment, the Swans.
I think so, and I'm really liking their tackling work. They're putting extra mustard on it.
So it's tapped away there from Spencer about 20 metres forward. Then another tap. Then the kick inside 50 from Bolch towards the contest. Batchelor had eyes on that one. Almost took the mark, but harassed just enough from Van Hoysted. Murphy, he's clever in these situations, to Batchelor from the boundary line. The kick didn't really favour Freeman, and Pink just hoiks it out of there towards space and grasp, and Aspley look like they can come back.
Well, it just pitched like a 9-9 on the green. Now it ends up with Ives. Ives tries to hit Castledine. Great bump from Noel on Bolch. Won the ball for Sydney, but it's cut off now. Rose puts himself in a little quieter in this second term. It stays in. Batchelor, handball at close quarters to Bolch. Bolch to Box Hill. Billy can't control it. Over the boundary line, another throw in. Better from the Hornets, keeping the ball inside their attacking 50. They'll get another stoppage here. Just notice the boundary umpires on that side moving a little slower now. They're following the ball. Here's the throw in. Spencer versus Noel. Noel off hands. Ives in traffic. Gets the handball. Oh, well done to Stackelberg. Good tackle though. Let's loose the ball. Now here's a chance. It was Luca Mason. Handball back to Liam Dawson from 55. Beautiful kick. Liam Dawson just sized that up. I said it before. Joel Amati showed everybody the formula. Boot the hell out of it towards the left goal post, and it will swing back. Well done. Second goal for Aspley. 23 plays 16.
Yeah, that was really well done there from Liam Dawson. But I like the composure shown there from Luca Mason. He could have turned around, tried to have a shot himself from 50. It would have been a tough kick, but he saw the better option just off the pack, or off the numbers, and great kick from Liam Dawson. That's what Aspley needed. They keep themselves in touch. They've played better in this second term. But they're still having some issues with this ball movement at the moment.
Have I robbed him there of a few metres? I reckon 55, maybe 60.
Well, I think we've both robbed a couple of players this year of a few meterage.
Oh, you robbed James Rowe.
Yeah, I did. So that was probably still not the greatest. Anyway, back in the middle. It'll be Amati against Spencer. Amati tried to tap it off the hands. Giles immediately tackled there from Wicks. Almost rode him like a cowboy.
Gee. They've got some great product here, the Sydney Swans. Some of these players.
Such a bright future that you can see for them. Their academy system is the envy of the rest of the northern states, you'd have to think. They've done so well, so consistently. Rose couldn't get it away on that occasion. Kicked inside 50 from Giles. But it looks like it's going to favour Milliken, who punches it over the boundary and hits a spectator on a picnic blanket. It'll be a throw in about 25 out from Aspley's attacking goal. They'd love to get consecutive goals here and just get back to within that 1 point margin.
You can see all the players now within 70 metres of goal at the Aspley end. Amati was appealing for the free kick. Once again, this is close quarters. It's going to be shut down. You can see, too, you could throw a tea towel over about 25 players here. It is absolutely congested inside the Aspley attacking 50. Spencer couldn't quite. Hacked out of there by Rose. Picked up by Hayden. He dribbles one towards the goal. It bounces awkwardly through all comers. Batchelor tackles his opponent into the ground. Milliken can't quite. Ball there. Batchelor again. Hayden calling for the handball. He gets it. Now it's over to Luca Mason. Goes left, right. Hooks it back. Sydney will extract it here, though, if they can control it. Well done there by Jackson Holland. Puts himself in and steals it back for the Hornets. Back to Mason. Once again, just moving left and right. And that was either fortunate or sheer brilliance with the outside of the shoe, because he's hit his teammate in Jono Giles after he went through traffic, Luca Mason. Will you give him that one, Riley?
No.
Okay.
No, I won't. But,
I'm ever the optimist. I thought that, why not? But Jono Giles, this is the slot. Jono. Left goal post. From 50. Bangs it. Left goal post. Thanks for coming, Jono Giles. The formula has been set, Riley. 3-5 plays 3-4. It is a 1 point ball game here at Voxson Oval.
Yeah, the formula has been set, absolutely. That was a fantastic kick at goal again, and you just see that Aspley, they've really started to work themselves into the game. The Sydney Swans, their pressure around the ball has been outstanding, but their more senior bodies like Dawson and Gross, who's played a very good and consistent game today, are starting to get more involved. And Jono Giles, he's been really good in this second quarter. But it brings it back to that 1 point margin, 16.5 going into this second quarter. We've got a game on our hands. It's been setting itself up very nicely.
Yeah, you can just feel that it could be broken open at any time. This is as tight as I've seen any game of NEAFL so far this year.
So back in the middle, Amati goes uncontested. Nell stayed on the ground, but he's going to get the clearance here and will send it forward. Aspley are starting to really rise to the occasion. No mark taken from Ling. Batchelor goes hard. The Tasmanian hand passes inside to Bulch, who couldn't quite get it. McInerney been a little quieter in this second quarter, but still been industrious. Couldn't get the kick away really there, though, Parks, while he was tackled, but they're just going to extract it. McInerney again tries to get away from Giles. He did it very nicely. Swaney back to McInerney. He's had about 4 involvements in this play. Now it finds Hurst. He can break the tackle. Gives it to Stoddart. Ditto. Hand passes it further inside. The Swans are queuing up. Wicks over the top. That is brilliant from the Sydney Swans. And Joel Amati, he's taken the responsibility and can have a shot from about 40.
Superb ball movement. And Justin McInerney, congratulations. What a positive passage of play from that young man. As you called it, Riley, well, 4 odd involvements in that chain. Superb stuff from the Swans.
So Joel Amati to put it back out to 7 points. He'll kick from about 45 and he's set it way too right. And it's another behind for the Sydney Swans. Inaccuracy at the moment for them. They've got a 2 point lead, 3-6 to 3-4. Gavin Gross about to bring it back into play.
So having yet another superb year, the veteran Gavin Gross as a key defender in the NEAFL. That's a wobbly conveyance, though, towards Dougie Lawrence. It bounces awkwardly. Ling just hacks it forward. Cut off by Dawson. Handball to Craven. It's coming back there. Doug Lawrence just measures it, and Jono Freeman gets a very important touch. It would give him some confidence against Toby Pink so far, who's been all over him. He's come a long way up the ground to get it. That's a long kick. Well directed. Stackelberg did nicely, and it was spoiled nicely as well there for Sydney by Parks. Now on the boundary, MVP 3 gets rid of it as tackled. Oh, that could be a free kick to the Swans. No, it's taken there by Craven, kicks it back towards top of the square, and James Rose tracks the ball back for Sydney.
So Rose, as you mentioned, been a little quieter in this second term, James Rose, but certainly having a reasonable day. Sends it towards half-back, so's that man that spoiled it out of the plate.
How's the ball hold up in the breeze there? That's cut about 20 metres off that kick. That's into the teeth of it.
Wouldn't say it was the most intelligent kick to set it up like that, but it's a stoppage. Every player's within about 50 or 60 metres of this throw-in as it comes back in. Amati wins it down. Nellis pursued it, did very well. Sends it towards goal, towards the goal square. It's spoiled off hands there, and it's going to be a foot race. First there for the Hornets is Batchelor. He'll try and work some magic. Hand pass to the back to Mason. 50 metres out. Will set it further wide to Coughlin, who's got to show some composure. Well, the option was right, but the execution was poor, and Melican can bomb it forward. And it's absolute grass if it gets over the back. No mark taken from Lipscomb. Well done from Barling to force the contest. Lipscomb does well to soccer it towards Gross. It's still being pursued here from Ling. And I think both sides will be content with a stoppage. It's still bouncing around. I think it's eventually going to be tied up. Well done from Sydney to scramble and gain some much valued territory into this breeze.
And some great work by both sides, in fact. They're just really hammering in hard. You can see what this game means to both teams at this pointy end of the NEAFL season. And Marty just gets banged out of the way, but looks like the free kick's going to go to Nellis, who was in that ruck contest. You can explain that one to me? Haven't got anything for you there.
Nor do I.
James Nellis. And that's a long kick. Good attack on the ball from Freeman, but Pink, he got it back, then Freeman pinched it off him. Gave it to Giles, who puts it inside 50. It bounces perilously towards the boundary line. In fact, goes over, and we'll have another throw in. So it's inside. Aspley's attacking 50 there. Trailing by 2 points. 21 gone in the second term on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. I'm Michael Price, and this is Riley Staraj.
It's a good old-fashioned arm wrestle, this one, between two sides, vying for top four. As we head towards the finals in the coming weeks, neither ruckman got at it. Snapped towards goal from Payne. Well done from Melican to feed it away. It's eventually out of play.
Jeez, I like the way McInerney moves. He's sharp.
He's been sensational today, Justin McInerney.
Had 17 disposals before half-time, playing in defence, doing beautifully.
As the ball's about to come back in, Aspley would love to pinch a lead before half-time, considering how dominated they were in the opening term. Amati won the tap down, got the deflection back, breaks a tackle, then gets it away. It's snapped towards goal, though, from Nellis, and it's through for one behind. So 3-6 to 3-5. 1 point margin. This game's in a little bit of a stalemate at the moment. Both sides in an absolute arm wrestle.
So Riley Stoddart goes the long left foot. That was easy pickings for Gross over Dole.
Are you surprised both sides are going so consistently long on the kick-ins against this breeze?
It's the defensive side of the ground. If you saw what happens when James Rose brought it back to the commentary side of the ground, the ball went 20 metres forward and 40 up in the air. So it's the only place really to defend is to go that side. Whether it to go that wide is another thing entirely. Ball stuck under there. Jordan Hayden will get a ball up. The umpires have been kept very busy. A lot of stoppages in this game as Nellis backs into Amati. Leaves a little passage. Hayden picks it up and just hoiks it straight up and down the chimney. Amati takes it. He's tackled, of course, by Cody Stackelberg. Stackelberg the younger. And we'll get another ball up, right half forward. Very quickly taken by the umpire. He wants to clear the congestion too. Templeton tackles his opponent. It's hacked forward, though. At the back, Liam Dawson. Has he got the toe? Because the young man Kilpatrick has. Dawson, can he control it? He does. He's tackled, though. Barling's got him. Ball stuck underneath. Umpire Wetton had the whistle to the mouth and decided, no, I'll ball it up. Liam Dawson's heart rate just went from 75 to 92.
And probably more, as back at the contest, Amati will just give him the honours that time. Rose comes in beautifully, breaks away, left foot, 45 metres out, it sets it up. This could be a goal! What a kick from James Rose! And that is number 2. He just shows class at such key moments, doesn't he, Pricey? And that's a key goal in the context of this second quarter. He gives the Swans a 7-point lead, 4-6 to 3-5. Fantastic game of football. Hope you're enjoying wherever you're watching. Saturday afternoon, Voxson Oval. Been a ripper.
It has been a really tight contest. And James Rose, I hate the phrase, but he is the epitome of X Factor. He just pops up, does something absolutely brilliant, and you won't see him for another 5 minutes or so, but he can change a game. He almost drags Sydney over the line against Southport in the Granny last year, as I keep saying, but phenomenal player when he's on song. I just love to see him develop more consistency. I think he's a very good footballer. But he's put the Swannies even further in front at 7 points. Aspley leading the quarter by 1 point. Swans led by 8 at quarter time. Noel did beautifully, got it down to Wicks, and here he is again. McInerney bursting onto the ball, speculates a handball. It was taken by Thorne. He's immediately tackled. Wicks enters the fray. He's tackled by Stackelberg, Cody. Now the ball's underneath there. That's another monstrous tackling effort from Noel. So well I could not see who he was tackling. He was blanketing Templeton there. The ball's inside, attacking 50 for Sydney. And they're really looking like they're having a red-hot crack late in the quarter.
Noel got fingertips to it. Comes out to Hurst. He's got a little bit of space and a lefty. 45 out. Goes to the square. Barling. Well, he probably could have taken that mark. But it just slipped through the fingers. It's an 8-point margin now for the Swans. They're 4-7. to 3-5.
So Allen's going to bring it back in for Aspley. Comes out of the square. That's a booming kick. It's going to go over the back. Dangerous times now for Sydney. It's propelled forward. Payne, can he hold it up? Oh, he did well there, young Bolch. Gets the 1-2. Goes left. Noel went over the top of him. So Bolch gives it back to Spencer. Now it's a big contest and the big men go at it again. We're going to have another ball up. Just having a look at the other games on at the moment in NEAFL and early doors in the game at the Gabba, and Gold Coast 3 straight goals to Brisbane Lions yet to score. Top of the ladder undefeated Brisbane Lions as well. Toby Pink doing a great job on Freeman. Just got the ball over to Wicks. Wicks now under pressure outside of the shoe. Did it intelligently to keep the ball in, but it actually gave Dougie Lawrence a good look at it. So he takes another good defensive mark. He's been okay today, Dougie. He's
been okay all year. Whenever he's under chance, he's got a bright future, and that's a raking kick. Freeman. Well, not Freeman, sorry. Spencer thought he could get elevation, couldn't quite. A good tackle laid inside 50 there from Cody Stackelberg. It'll be another stoppage.
I know there's the phrase front and square is there for a reason, but when the breeze is this big, have an outrider behind the pack.
Absolutely. Especially when your key attacking forwards aren't really getting their hands to it at the moment. Anyway, back at the game. Looks like it's going to be tied up all again. Do you try and break that matchup between Freeman and Pink just to try and give him some space and some confidence, because he's still getting blanketed at the moment for mine?
Well, Freeman needs to sort of work around it and just work on his body position. I don't think the ball's being drilled down his throat by any stretch. He's not getting silver service, so he's got to work very, very hard, but it's made it easier for Pink, but he's just got to keep going at each contest, Jono. Ball propels forward. There he goes again. He overruns it. Oh, Box Hill Billy's going to get the handball and bang. There he goes. He's good for a couple of goals a game, is Billy Murphy. One of the best small forwards in the NEAFL competition, without a doubt. And he kicks a goal to bring him back within 2 points. 4-5-29 to the Swans, 4-7-31.
He is certainly one of the best small forwards. I remember there was a stat at the start of the year, about 37% of his disposals were actually scoring shots about 2 months in. So that tells you, well, he's tapered off a bit as the season's gone along. But he's certainly providing a dimension to Aspley they might not have had last year, especially coming in towards a final series where I reckon they're going to give themselves a pretty good chance.
Oh, you'd give yourself a good chance, and he's the perfect foil. Because if Freeman's not taking marks, he's doing what he can do and still providing a contest and bringing the ball to ground. If he brings the ball to ground, and that is the absolute field day fodder for Billy Murphy and the like.
So back in the middle. One of the few times we've seen Noel go in a centre bounce contest. The bounce is going to be recalled.
At the Gabba, the Gold Coast have kicked 4 straight goals. The Lions haven't scored yet, 12 minutes into the first quarter.
That's one to monitor. There's Noel, well, he tried to get a punch. Getting it out, though, Wicks. Fed back from McInerney. They're raffling it around Rose. Well, eventually just gets away from Bolch with ease. Then feeds the hand pass to Noel, who got some meterage on Spencer. Not the greatest of hand passes to Rose, but they do okay. Noel tries to break a tackle. Got the hand pass. Turned over immediately to Craven. Goes over the back of his shoulder. Lipscomb will get there first for the Hornets, but he's immediately wrapped up. And still this defensive pressure from the Swans is outstanding. Of course, they've only got the 12 listed today. these young kids are showing just how bright a future this club has.
Youthful enthusiasm and class. You can't beat the combination. Thrown in. Noel did beautifully at the back. Then he follows it up again. He does that well, the big fella. Couldn't quite control it. It's still in dispute. Hurst gets his head over the ball. Now it's going to be a ball up just inside attacking 50. Really well done. A lot of their opponents more experienced and larger bodies, but they're doing beautifully. The Swannies and Ives and Thurlow track the ball over the boundary line. So it's late in the second quarter. Sydney by 2 points. Fair dinkum arm wrestle here at Voxson Oval for NEAFL TV round 19. Hope you're enjoying it. Noel versus Spencer. Noel gets rid of Spencer. The ball goes over the back. Thurlow. Confronted by Ives. He hooks it back around. Bounces awkwardly for Foot. What a great tap down from Foot. Comes off Swaney. Top of the square. Gross. Well done against Barling. And it punches it into the post and we'll get a throw in right in the left forward pocket.
He's been sensational today, Gavin Gross, defensively. I reckon he's saved a couple of goals for the Hornets. He so often has. He's been such a servant of this club and he's been such a great player in the NEAFL over the years. As the ball comes back in the plate, Spencer got a couple of fingertips to it. Hurst hand passes it wide. They do okay here. Fed back to Rose, about 70 metres out. Will set it up. This should favour the Hornets. Well, Spencer missed the spoil, so it might let the Swans in, but they've done well here at the very least to get it away. Kick outside from Allen towards the wing position, getting there first. I was going to say getting there first was Parks, but he missed it. Melican cleans up, though, back to Parks. Sends it inside out, sort of a torpedo ball towards the pack. Big spoil over the back from Gross. Craven's thereabouts, so is Wicks. He's immediately tackled and then just got half a boot. Actually quite intelligent there, really, because he was in the chicken wing, but he got a boot to it just, and it'll be a throw in about 70 metres out, thankfully, on the commentary side of the ground.
Yes, we can take a breather, and it's just been a fascinating game. We can see the flags to the right of the scoreboard are actually just going diagonally from the right back pocket to the right of screen to the left back pocket to the right back pocket of the left of screen. So it's just going diagonally across the ground from this ruck contest. We've got Spencer versus Noel. Noel did shepherding out, so it's a Spencer free kick. Tell before the umpire blew his whistle. Very intelligent gridiron throw of the ball too. Made it difficult for Spencer to grab. Bought him a few seconds. Chip forward now, Spencer. Castledine. Sponsored by Elastoplast on a personal level. Cal Castledine. Beautiful kick. It actually went over the head of Ives, so that breeze working into the favour of the Swans there. Well done by McKellar. The run of Melican. Foot. Controlled, then not. Stoddart. Noel. Tackled and just got his toe to the ball. Well done there by Lipscomb. Punched it towards the boundary line. Hayden gets the handball away. Craven under a lot of pressure. Hacks it towards Spencer. Beautifully spoiled by Stoddart.
And trying to get it away, Giles falls to Castledine. He fed the hand pass intelligently. Bolch got a little bit of space, then sends it inside the forward 50 towards a few players. Murphy missed it. It's going to go over the back if Payne can pick it up. He just missed it initially. Gets it again. Three-time MVP. 20 metres out. He goes bang! The Hornets hit the front on Heritage Day and the crowd absolutely love it. 5:35 to 4:7:31. Very late stages of this second quarter, Michael Price.
Oh, that is the first time the Hornets have hit the front for the day. Sydney kicked the first goal in the first few minutes, but Matthew Payne, yet again, he will bob up and just damage her. He's had 10 odd best and fairest in clubland. He's a three-time MVP, as you call. He's been in the team of the year for the NEAFL 7 times. He has got a resume better than most CEOs going about the place. He is fantastic, and he's put the Hornets in front. A very important day, as you say, the heritage jumper for the club, 64 to 69. They wore it for the first 5 years until they went to the hoops, and it's a very important day for the club. And of course, if you're liking the look of the jumper, you can buy them too via the Aspley website, and make your inquiries through the NEAFL as well. They're quite cheap. Here's Payne again. On cue, goes back, second touch. Now Stackelberg can't quite get it. Tackled Wicks without the ball. It's handballed through by Cooper Kilpatrick. Rose gets it off now to Foot. Uses the left version and chips it forward. Nicely taken by Barling. Now he's out there. He's going to be kicking it more or less across the breeze, so it's going to hold up. He's not sure. Then he tries to chip it. Measures a pass going for Hurst. He was a very small target compared to the defensive effort. Dougie Lawrence did beautifully, and now the Aspley Hornets are out. Coughlin.
And they did well there, the Hornets, to get it away. Well done from Arnold. Fed it to Giles, and now they're going to be able to go on the wing position. They're queuing up here. Nellis gets the hand pass until he's immediately pursued by Stoddart, and he is gone.
Gone.
That was well done from Riley Stoddart. My namesake, but a hell of a lot better footballer than I ever was, as it's half time.
I don't mind his hair compared to yours either, Riley, so no offence. I remember when I had hair that long.
Well, I've never gone even close. As it's half time, 4 points the margin, 5-5 to 4-7. Ripping game of football here. It's a good old-fashioned arm wrestle. The Hornets, they've really worked themselves into the game very well for mine.
Oh, yeah, look, they trailed by 8 points at quarter time. Now they lead by 4 points at half-time, so it's a good 2-goal turnaround, and I suppose that's what you're looking at when you've got the breeze that is going to the left of screen as we see it. As the Aspley players get around each other, the Swans players get around each other. Looking at the goal scorers for Sydney, James Rose has got a couple, Amati's got one, Cody Hurst with a ripper there as well, and 5 single goal scorers for the Aspley Hornets, Payne, Murphy, Stackelberg, Connor, Jono Giles and Liam Dawson with a beauty from inside the centre square. How are the stats looking, Riley?
Well, they're actually looking relatively even across the ground in a lot of ways. If we look at some of the hit-out stats, Aspley 30 to 28, the one main difference. Sydney had plus 11 in clearances, is not translating to inside 50s though. 26 apiece. Everything's relatively even across the board. Tackles 45 to 38 in favour of the Swans. One area where Aspley is doing really well is in the marking statistic. They're plus 15 at the moment, which sort of suggests as that game went along, they got a lot more control of the ball. They started to play a little bit more tempo football at times, or when they put the throttle down, they started to show some of the excitement we've come to be known of them.
And when they do move the ball, there's a very classy-looking unit as well. Looking at the individual stats, McInerney, he's had a cracker of a first half. He's 19 disposals and 3 tackles. James Rose, 18 disposals and 2 goals. Very important player. Sam Wicks has had the 14 touches, but honourable mention, he's had 7 tackles in the first half. Riley Stoddart with 12. For Aspley, guess who came to the fore in the second quarter? Matthew Payne. He's now got 11 and a goal. Jasper Craven with 11 and Tom Bolch really contributing as well with 10 touches. So individually, very, very good. Back at the Gabba, it's early in the first quarter. Gold Coast have kicked 4 goals straight. Brisbane Lions, 1 goal. Very interesting. Here at Voxson, it is Aspley by 4 points at half-time. NEAFL TV through Bar TV will be back with the second half very shortly. Welcome back to Voxson Oval. It's the home of the Aspley Hornets, Graham Road at Aspley, and they are at home to the Sydney Swans for NEAFL TV Round 19. We're streaming live on NEAFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Michael Price and Riley Staraj calling all of your action. And look, at half-time, it is a cracker of a game. 4 points the margin in favour of the Hornets. They hit the front at the 25-minute mark of the second term. It was the first time that they have been in front after Sydney led by 8 points at quarter time. And Riley, really looking forward to the second half of this match. It could crack open at any time, but it's been a real arm wrestle.
It has been a real arm wrestle, and of course has massive ladder implications as we head to the final couple of weeks of the year. A top 4 spot is really on the line. From Aspley's perspective, it could almost be secured if they get the win this afternoon. It could be season defining for both. We've got a fantastic last half coming up for you. Hope you enjoy it wherever you're watching, as we'll go again to start underway. Well, Wicks, I think, might have got the tap down as it went out of the circle. McInerney goes in hard, trying to eventually get it out was Ives. He got it to Spencer, who goes towards the forward line. Nellis couldn't take the mark. First there is Stoddart for the Swans. He goes inside Murphy. Well, he's just got such good quick feet, and he'll get it back and bomb it long.
Oh, he's a class player as Riley Stoddart. It was a wobbly kick, though, and it was well read by Gavin Gross. Took the tumbling mark, then immediately played on. Went to deliver it out into space, but it took a bounce and went straight towards the boundary over the other side. And as we've seen in the first half, the breeze is swirling, but it is favouring the left of screen and pushing the ball towards the outer side of the ground most of the time. But now I'm actually feeling the breeze blowing back into the commentary box. It's kind of weird. Spencer versus Noel. Spencer this time. Got it back there to Rayner for Sydney. Nice mark by Marty. Just got in front of Dougie Lawrence and double grabbed it. That was a really good mark. He's got a man in Barling almost on his own, but impossible to get the ball there. Kicks it into the forward pocket. And just too easy. Too easy there. Marking it there was Foot. The ball held up a little, but Foot really didn't have any opponent there.
No, that was quite rare to see from an Aspley defence. He just sort of snuck there and was all on his own. He's certainly classy enough to kick it from this position. It'd be a great start for the Swans if he can.
Well, he's kicked 11 for the year. 4th round draft pick back in 2018. Dandenong. Let's go from 40 metres. Oh, just to the right, one behind results. So 3 points the margin. 4-8-32 to Sydney, 35 to the Hornets. That was a real opportunity. Missed that one.
They've missed a few today, the Swans, it must be said. So Allen, as has been customary, just goes long towards halfback. Spencer got a couple of metres on Noel, and he did very well. It was a good mark as well from the big man. I'd probably give him the chocolates at the moment over Noel, certainly. He played a good opening half as it goes towards half forward. Good spoil from Pink. It comes off hands going in. Coughlin keeps in the field of play. Hand passes in, but that wasn't great because it's going to come back. Stoddart gets it to Noel. Goes away from Spencer. Finds Rose, who just finds himself a couple of metres, and then the kick wasn't as good as the setup. And Lipscomb out on the full. Take your mark to make your mind up.
Just behind the play, James Ives is down on the outer wing. He's really holding his elbow like it could have done a shoulder or something similar. He's just crouched over. We'll keep an eye on that. That could be tragic for the Hornets as James Ives is down there. It's taken there by Sydney, by Parks. Long kick inside 50. Beautifully punched away from Barling by Jackson Allen. We'll get a throw in as, we can see the trainer with James Ives. He's the traditional jumper holding up the elbow. That is not a good sign. Could be a shoulder as James Ives comes walking off the field.
That does not look good at all. And it could prove very massive in the context of their year. Spencer won it down Lipscomb, but he went straight to Hurst. Wheels around on the left, sets it up for the contest. It's a 1-on-2 in favour of the Hornets. Goes over the back, Bulches thereabouts for Aspley and just gets a hacking sort of a ball up in the air. Try get that one. It's spoiled away. It goes forward about 40 metres. The Swans have a chance. Hurst couldn't quite get the hand pass from Barling. Goes towards the pocket. And it's a free kick going the way of the Hornets.
Just a little over-enthusiastic with the tackle, Hurst. Tom Bolch has had a pretty good game as we saw James Ives come to the bench, immediately get the attention of the medical staff. Long kick goes towards the boundary line, predictably. It's over there. We'll have another throw in. That would be a big loss. James Ives, the Aspley junior, kicked a good 10 goals so far this year, and he's averaging about 30 touches a game. productive player for the Hornets. Spencer taps it back towards the boundary. And once again, it's taken over in the hands of Kyle McKellar. 3 points the margin. Aspley leading by 3. 4 minutes gone. Third quarter. Could be a dramatic turn of events.
And we know these sides have had a few over the years. Spencer probably gets the honours just that time. Going McInerney, but well done from Rose. All class. The kick is a ripper. And he finds Amati. And that's what James Rose can do. If you give him a couple of metres, he will cut you up to pieces, and Amati has the chance to put the Swans in front.
Well, we saw Joel Amati kick the goal from here early in the first quarter. He set the standard. He was the first goal scorer of the game. But James Rose, how was that? Just exquisite.
All class from James Rose. Amati to finish off the work. Well, he's kicked that 15 out on the full.
Well,
and he didn't follow the textbook of the opening goal he had, didn't he?
Exactly right. He kicked it towards the left goal post. It sailed through. He kicked it into the car park, that one. So 3 points the margin. Aspley lead it. This breeze still playing havoc with the game. Gavin Gross has it in the dead pocket, the left back pocket for the Hornets. Umpire tells him to get a wriggle on. Now have a look at that kick hold up in the breeze towards the boundary, and it's well read by Amati. He takes the mark anyway. So it's coming back, and again, that tactic, I'm not quite sure. It hasn't worked for Aspley in that defensive area today. Amati, long kick, pack mark, taken by Liam Dawson. What a ripper. Comes across the face of goal. They'll run it out this time. That's better from the Hornets. It's with Jasper Craven. Has a bounce. Thought he was kicking it to the runner there, but it came out there. Batchelor, good, nicely fisted away. Stoddart attacked the ball. Picked up by Coughlin. Handball to Cody Stackelberg. Luca Mason. Melican's got him, but he just got his toe to the ball. It bounces for Box Hill Billy. He picks it up. Handball to Freeman. Under pressure now. Well done, Melican. And Wicks kicks it straight up and down the chimney. It's coming back. Is Jasper Craven and Stoddart. What an attack on the ball. Arnold tackled by Melican. And that is good, hard footy here at Voxson Oval. We'll have a ball up.
Yeah, great call, Pricey. That was magnificent commitment from both sides. That looked like it could have been a car crash in that contest, but all's well that ends well. Noel got it down the wicks as it's tied up, and I think if you're watching today, the physicality from both sides has been outstanding.
Absolutely. You can feel some of the hits, well, when it's on this side of the ground, definitely you can feel them.
Noel. Looks like he will get the free kick. And he had front position that time. As James Rose just tries to get into Jono Giles and gives a little bit of feedback for it. Anyway, Noel. Not the greatest kicking action, but it works to Swaney. Right in the middle of Voxson Oval. Now, where does he want to go? There's not that much presenting ahead, so he's just going to have to chip it short. They've done this well. Hurst has got a little bit of space. He can put the foot down 50 metres out, and the kick, like quite a few today, out on the full, in that pocket towards the car park.
And Gross plays on, chips it forward. Finds his teammate there in Jordan Hayden. We see McInerney come back on the field for the Swans in the foreground. That's a high ball. It's holding up in that breeze. Outstanding work from Billy Murphy to get to the front. Cody Stackelberg roved it beautifully. Handball to Craven. He can't control it. He's got Hurst on his backside. Picked up by Castledine. Handball now to Billy Murphy. Goes left, then right. Gets around the traffic. Just shows a little bit of presence and poise. And now chips it to Jordan Arnold. Now, he's got Luca Mason and across the half-back line, Dougie Lawrence. Better running from the Hornets, sharing the ball. Dawson around his ankles. Dawson now, chiselling little pass, finds Jordan Arnold, but now they've mucked around with it. Turn it over. Here comes McInerney. He's been a ripper all day. Looks into the path of Cody Hurst, who dribbles one through. Just dribbles it through. That was superb work there. The pressure that they put on Aspley, trying to share that ball and move the ball in a different direction. Riley just peeling off a little bit too much. Well done again from McInerney, who had the vision to hit Hurst, and a great goal for Sydney. You put him back in front.
It certainly does. Goal number 2 for Cody Hurst. And Aspley, they were really set up for the switch there, but I don't think they quite pulled the trigger like they probably should have. And the kick from Lawrence to Dawson really put him under pressure, and after that it just sort of You could see it coming. The Swans were just like a trap, and they moved that ball very well once they got the turnover. That's an area you don't want to turn it over against Sydney, because they'll get you on that counter. It puts them back in front, so magnificent game so far. It's back in the middle. Noel and Spencer. Noel basically goes uncontested, but Spencer roved it like a rover. Goes forward with the kick. Batchelor's the target. Comes off hand. Quick reply for the Hornets. It is Stackelberg missing to the left. 2 points the margin. 5-8 to 5-6. Stood out to bring it back in. That was a massive opportunity there for Connor Stackelberg.
Well, they've missed a few each at both clubs here today. Again, swirly conditions. Riley Stoddart kicks it in the Ling or Rose direction. James Ives, who we almost had off the field and in hospital, is back on. So nothing wrong with the shoulder there. We'll find out exactly the miracles that is it Praxis Physiotherapy who deal with Aspley. Good bunch of people down there as well. Liam Dawson used his body beautifully against Hurst. Well done now, kicks it to Hayden. Sydney really well set up in front of Hayden here. He goes laterally again, bounces it towards Dawson. Mucking around with it again, back to Hayden. And it goes straight back down the middle. Oh, Templeton got in front. It was again, fortune favours the brave when you play in front, Riley. It's a long kick towards Spencer in the pocket, beautifully spoiled by Noel. Stackelberg was annoying enough to get the ball and tap it towards Freeman. Freeman to Bolch. Bolch to Spencer. Spencer smothered by Melican. Great tackle by Melican. He's dragged it back in, and the umpire circling says no. Oh, I thought he dragged that one back in. It was like the old arm on the coin. Just went in there. It's Cody Stackelberg, but it's going to be a ball up.
Might count himself a little bit lucky. But Aspley, they've got an opportunity here. Noel, if he has anything to do, it won't get it away. He got the punch, but Lipscomb immediately tackled by two Swans. Their defensive pressure today from Sydney's been outstanding, from these, especially from these academy kids. They've certainly gone hard at it. Craven towards the forward 50. Freeman got a chance and he's almost taken it. It bounces off hands. Melican tries to punch it, couldn't quite. Oh, big tackle laid. That could be a free kick for Dangerous. Not quite. Foot. Hand passes of the way. They're just going to try and hoik it out here, the Swans. Kilpatrick overrun it. Lawrence. Well, it's a free kick. It's very late and it's... I think they wanted advantage there, Sydney, but it's going to come back and Kilpatrick. You'll have it just behind the circles.
They do have a case, but the ball comes back. Kilpatrick now kicks long inside 50, looking for Amati, beautifully spoiled. Noel at the back, the big unit as a rover. Handball now to Rayner. Rayner has a ping and kicks a goal for Sydney. Well, there you go, the quick response from the Swans. 6-8-44. They're back to an 8-point margin in front of Aspley, kicking with the breeze here. 12 gone in the third term.
Yeah, great work there from the Swans. And great kick there from Josh Rayner, of course, from the North Shore Bombers in the outer parts of Sydney. That was a great snap under composure when at times today his teammates haven't shown as much. And it was a difficult kick as well, and it just keeps that margin just a little bit of a gap for Aspley to come against. Of course, they're going with the breeze in this third quarter, Sydney, so any advantage they can get before three-quarter time is going to be massive for them.
You'll find that, Aspley will be looking forward to getting the breeze in this final term, but they don't want to let any lead slip out towards Sydney. I see John O'Giles now on James Rose. That'll be interesting for the rest of the day. As James Rose has started this game beautifully.
So back in the middle, Rucks go at it. Neither got to it that time. Noel, he's almost playing like a rover, tried to pursue it, but the hand pass comes out to Bolch, feeds it intelligently to the three-time MVP towards the forward 50. 2-on-2 contest. Melican at the back. It was spoiled forward well there from Stackelberg. Batchelor feeds it back to Bolch, sets it towards goal. That's bending back! Oh, what a kick! What a kick! And that is the quick reply for the Hornets. And I don't know the angle of that one. We might have to get out the protractor, but it brings it back to 2 points the margin. 6-8 to 6-6, 13 and a half gone third quarter.
Yeah, you need a slide rule for that one, Riley. That breaks the laws of physics, and well done to Tom Bolch. He has kicked that at a 45-degree angle off the inside of the shoe. An outstanding kick from just inside the 50 as well. Thanks very much for coming, Tom Bolch. Beautifully called too, Riley. And couple of points the margin. Sydney back in front. Really enjoying this game. It's like a war of attrition and with the occasional piece of sheer brilliance. It's just going hard. Loving this on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Round 19, Aspley versus the Swannies here at Voxson. Well done there to Foot. It got through there. Sorry, it was Sam Wicks. Kicked it inside 50. Dawson couldn't quite take the mark. Arnold tackles his opponent into the ground once again. It's going to be inside forward 50 for Sydney. Last man coming up with the ball was Lachlan Swaney. Now Spencer versus Amati. Oh, Rose caught there and just couldn't get there with Giles. He's been taken without the ball, young Hurst. Should have got a free kick for mine. The ball spills. Stuck underneath several, and gee, there's some physical work.
That's free kick going the way of the Hornets there.
Yeah, it looked like McKellar just threw his opponent away. It was actually Lipscomb. He just basically threw him away off the pack, and without the ball, they were very quick to pay the free kick. Jasper Craven looping a handball now over the top. He's going to get the 1-2 back from Arnold. Now he's going to have a bounce straight through the middle. That's keep running, he says. Why not? Chips it inside 50. Freeman at the back. Sorry, it was Stackelberg. They just can't get it going, can they? Coughlin took it over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in just at left half forward for Aspley. Only 2 points the margin, but it just feels like Sydney could break away.
It's certainly very delicately poised between these two. A couple goal either way could prove decisive in this quarter. Noel got it decisively over Nellis that time towards the boundary line. It'll be tied up and we'll do it all again. Well, it looks like it was going to be tied up, but the umpire's called play on. Preempted myself by about 5 seconds.
Oh, it's pretty hard at the moment. There's a lot of congestion around the ball, and it's been like this basically all day, so almost like a rolling mall of stoppages.
Noel to Rose, that's textbook, gets the clearance away. It's going to sit up and favour Arnold. Is just content to see it over the boundary. And we'll have a throw in almost on the true wing position on that outer side like it has been all day. 6-8 to 6-6, 16 and a half gone into this third quarter.
Just having a look halfway through the second term at the Gabba, and the Gold Coast Suns 6-2 lead the Brisbane Lions 2-4, so they're leading by 22 points, the Suns, as Noel kicks it forward for Sydney. Bounces into the arms of the pack. Well done there. It's taken by Jack Lipscomb, but he's tackled into the ground. Once again, the tackling from both sides has been exquisite today. Just a lot of intent and want and desire, all those words that a coach loves to spout out, but they're doing them both. Well done there by McKellar. Inside 50, Hurst at the back. Well done by Dawson. Spoiled it, but Hurst has got a bit more toe at ground level. Burns him off. Hooks it around with the left foot and just misses the young man. He's got some talent as this Cody Hurst. It's 4 points the margin now. Sorry, 3 points the margin. 6-9, play 6-6.
So Allen to bring it back into play. You're certainly right about his talent. I've loved what he's done today forward with the ball, Cody Hurst. Big kick in from Allen. It's going to go, looked like it was about to go over the back. Rose trips over himself or got tripped in the process. Noel tries to get out of there. It's called play on, still raffling around. I think the umpires are just trying to let this congestion break. There's a free kick being pulled out. It's going the way of the Hornets. It's going to go the way of Nellis. So Nellis at half back. Doesn't have that much presenting forward of the ball, so he's just going to have to set it up. Stackelberg was the main target, goes over the back. Giles tries to get there, got the soccer. Oh, that is beautifully read from Melican. I think John O'Freeman's having a bit of a dirty day because the Swans can go through the middle and they can go through the middle with some oomph. Well done from Thorne over the top with a hand pass. Kick inside 50 from Swaney at the back of the pack. No mark taken. Well done from Gross. He's such a talented defender, isn't he? And he's tied it up like a good defender does, and the umpire says, give it to me.
He's been doing it all day. He's been doing it his whole career. He is an absolute ornament to the game, is Gavin Gross. Brilliantly done by the Hornets. Legend. Tapped down there by Noel. He didn't quite get his boot to ball. James Rose has it. That's a dead set rugby league pass. Has he pinged him for that? No, it's going to be a ball up. Well, James Rose has just gotten away with one because he's dead set thrown that to the big ruckman. Noel slaps it forward, picked up by Arnold. Just towed forward enough to get it 10 metres. Bolch gives it back to Payne. Payne in the Murphy direction. Stoddart got rid of Murphy, but Murphy did enough to get back and annoy him. Stoddart slapped it along the ground. Good contest. Melican tackled off it. Picked up by Spencer. Spencer now gives it off to Payne. Now it's with Bolch, kicks it long. Oh, it's well read by Pink. Jono Freeman off the ground at the moment. Pink has done a very good job all day from fullback.
He certainly has. He'll basically send a 45 sort of a kick, and it's a ripper too.
Wasn't that pinpoint?
No, it was pinpoint, especially in these very tough conditions. And Stoddart, he's got a couple of metres of space there. I've liked his game as well. He provides so much dash off half-back for the Swans, doesn't he?
They've got some very exciting... We keep saying it every time we see the Sydney Swans, but their academy system is enormous.
You wheel around, go on to the left, inside forward 50. A huge pack of players form, goes over the back. Aspley have the numbers. They've done this well. It's fed out towards Allen, who's got a few metres, and he's going to have to be pinpoint with the kick, and what a kick that is. That is dead set, 60 metres. Should have been a free play on. Castledine gets the hand pass away. Coming in Templeton. Try to further feed it out to Hayden. He couldn't take it. Now Templeton reeks it out eventually. Allen follows up his kick, but he's turned it over. Finds McInerney 65 metres out. Will set it in towards the 50. Gross has got a job to do here, and he does it brilliantly. Gets it away to Ives. Immediately tackled. Both sides converge, and it looks like it's going to be tied up right on the forward 50.
Once again, a 2-on-1, Gavin Gross.
I reckon he's been their best on ground today defensively by a mile.
He has repelled everything. He's like WD-40. It just disperses things. Thrown up, Spencer. Once again, Rose, he's tackled. Lets loose the ball. Payne, through traffic. Great hands. Gross. Chips it forward. That's a good mark from Batchelor in front of Milliken. So Brennan Batchelor, the Tasmanian, wheels around onto the right shoe. Kicks it towards half forward. Nellis. Pink again. He's been brilliant all day, has Pink. The two fullbacks have been exquisite today. Swans through Amati. Tackled. Bolch, now Milliken, back to Amati. Just tries to measure it. Arnold got there. Oh, well done by Kyle McKellar. Breaks the tackle. Barling at the back and off hands. It's well read by Gavin Gross, who escorts it over the boundary line, and we get another throw in the right forward pocket.
I feel like in the last 15 minutes, Sydney's forward entries, they could have had a lot more scoreboard opportunities. They're just butchering it forward to the ball on that last kick. Just the connection between the midfield and the forward 50 aren't necessarily working for them at the moment. Back at the game, Spencer got it away. He was only up against Rayner, who's got quite a bit of size on. Kick further forward here for the Hornets. Castledine will try to pursue, but it goes past him. Great tackle laid there from Connor Stackelberg.
Just looking at the inside 50s, Riley, 40-33 in favour of Sydney, so they've had 7 more of them, but just not taking their chances at the moment. Spencer, he can't quite get the ball. Now Sydney will extract it. McKellar gets the handball off to Stoddart. Classy mover back to McKellar. He's 60 from goal. Long range chip to the goal square. Back of the pack, Barling gathers and goals. Another good one for Sydney, just the back of the pack. It's where the ball's going to go when there's an extended breeze pushing it. And Barling did beautifully. Jackson Barling, he kicked 4 last week. He's got his first today, the man from the Willoughby Mossman Swans, or from Willoughby and the Mossman Swans. It's now 9 points the margin, the Swannies.
Yeah, I like the way Barling moves, and he's got good reward for effort there. We mentioned a few times that their forward 50 entries for Sydney was poor, but he did well to get that, and just a quick turnaround, instinctive, good shot at goal, and again, it just extends it out to that 9-point margin.
McInerney's got the most disposals on the ground with 22. James Rose, 21 and a goal. 17 for Sam Wicks. Gavin Gross has got the most touches. He's got 12 and 16 for Jasper Craven. There you go.
So we just have a slight delay, it appears, but looks like all will be okay. He's back in the middle. Rux will contest it. Spencer against Marty. Well, Spencer, he didn't jump and he got it, but it went straight to McInerney. Got a forward kick, and Marty couldn't quite pick it up. Templeton, ditto. It's fed further forward, going in as Rose, and he just shows a dance move, more suited to the dancing with the stars than the football. Sends it inside the forward 50. Noel, the target, comes off the back. It's a foot race towards the ball. Getting there first is Hurst for the Swans. Couldn't quite break the tackle. He tries to rake it back in, and that is going to be holding the footy, surely. And it is. I understand what he was trying to do just to tie it up, but Arnold's going to get the free at half back for Aspley.
Well deserved. So very difficult to transfer play laterally. So he's going to have to come down the commentary wing. It will be held up. Freeman, front position again. Toby Pink all over him like that cheap suit. And it's Sam Wicks who picks it up. Wobbles it inside 50, bounces over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in. It's difficult for a forward today with the ball swirling around as it is. But when you've got a fullback like Pink or Gross, as we said before, at either end, they are terrorising their fellow, their opposition players. And Toby Pink, you'd have to think he'd be pushing again for senior selection with the Swans. The ball at the back of the pack, well rode, good handball, gave it to Flanagan. He bounces it, and guess who's there to stop everything? It is Gavin Gross, who's been monumental so far today.
And he sends a raking ball out to his teammate in Lawrence. No free kick play on, but it was called very late. I think it was by the non-officiating umpire. But it was certainly there. So Lawrence is just going to go short. Well, that's a very ugly sort of a ball. He gets a chance to redeem himself. Got it back. Sends it about 30 metres. McInerney's in the best position. Couldn't quite take the mark. Swans have the numbers. It's fed out towards Thorne, who sends a tumbling sort of a ball forward. Coming up, Barling couldn't quite take it. Gets it on the second attempt. Good tackle from Gross. Aspley have done well here to just get the troops to arrive. It was hand pass back from Hayden. Lipscomb gets it and shows some good composure and finds a teammate at half back.
Oh, geez, that was a great kick to find James Ives, who's made the big recovery. In the middle, Spencer picks it up. Overshot the handball to Castledine. Pink went in. So did Stackelberg. Gave it back now to Craven. Wheeled around onto the right shoe. Inside 50. Nellis at the back. And it was Van Hoysted who was at the front. Now picked it up. Stackelberg across the face. Bulch. Handball over the top. Oh, what an awful bounce for Luca Mason. It comes back now for Bulch. He's there again. He's kicked one beauty. Pops this one up to the pocket. Front and centre. It was Coughlin. Couldn't quite control it. The Swans through Pink, just extract it now. Craven, he's cut it off with the 1 mitt. Oh, tackle! James Rose picked him up and buried him into Voxson Oval. What a ripper.
I reckon he's going to be picking out grass for the next 3 days there, Jasper Craven. That was a ripper of a tackle. And when you see stuff like that, you wonder why he's not at AFL level, James Rose. Anyway, back at the game. It's tied up. Wicks gets the clearance, though, for the Swans. Sends it towards the wing position. The big man in Noel goes up against Gross. At least forced it down. Barling gets the hand pass away. Noel beats one. Hand pass to the further forward. Gets it to Rayner. There is a free Swan in the sit 50. It's Hurst. He should get it. He does get it. He ran 100 metres for that ball there, Cody Hurst, from the middle of the ground to find the space, and this is a massive kick for the Swans. We've played 27 minutes, and this will bring it out to 15 should he kick truly.
Oh, look, he's kicked a couple already, and he has shown me enough today. Simple as that. Great little player is Cody Hurst. As we said before, he's 19 years old, came in from the Eastern Ranges. He's come in the mid-season draft, and the Swannies would be loving what they see.
So Hurst, to give Sydney their biggest lead since the midway point of the first term, puts it on its way, and that is kicked very nicely. That's number 3 for the young man, and it's a massive kick in the context of Sydney's game this afternoon. They move out to 8-9-57, the 6-6-42. 27 and a half gone here into this third quarter.
And that is a crucial goal because the game hasn't moved from within that 1 to 2 goal kind of margin, whereas Sydney led by 8 at quarter time, Aspley led by 4 at half time. Now the 15 points, Aspley would love to pull that 1 goal back. They do have this breeze in the last quarter, but it's not something you want to be relying on. That was beautiful ball movement by the Sydney Swans. They do it very well off half-back as well, with some really good attacking weapons. Riley Stoddart being one of them, but I'm really enjoying the way this game's going. It's to and fro as Amati versus Spencer. Spencer pushes it forward. Well done there by Thorne, but just high shot. He'll get a free kick, Will Thorne. Plays on immediately. Why wouldn't you? You got Riley Stoddart running down the corridor. He has a bounce, then puts a high ball up. Well done by Lawrence to spoil. Could be dangerous at ground level. Rayner versus Gross. Rayner did well to actually get it. Gross tackled him out of it. Dougie Lawrence handball back. Oh, it's going to be a very dangerous situation if Doug can't get rid of it. He does. Gives it back to Cody Stackelberg through the hands of Spencer. Sydney with another shot here. Who's going in there? McInerney. Oh, it's McKellar, who actually just threw it out, but comes out to Giles. He's bumped off it, then tackled. Ball spills under enormous pressure. Craven held it for an enormous amount of time, gave it back to Arnold, chips it forward, and they're going to cut it off again. The Sydney Swans, they're doing it beautifully at the moment.
They're doing it fantastically. So Thorne will go inside the forward 50. Coming across there was Lawrence with a double fist. Thurlow, haven't called his name that often today, gets immediately wrapped up. Umpire says, give it to me. I feel like at James Ives, he was about to go on a line break there. He just reeked it out of his hands. Another goal here for Sydney. Could prove massive for them. Cody Stackelberg, well, he tried to break the tackle, but the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt.
Agree with you. Another goal for Sydney would just put it a 21-point margin.
Makes it very delicate for Aspley.
Yeah, you'd want to be a couple of goals behind rather than four scoring shots as they try to hack it out here once again. They'll be intent to just accept the tackle, accept the stoppage. They realise there's 30 minutes gone of this third quarter. They just want to get it over and done with and get that breeze for the final term. Noel versus Spencer. Just hacked out of there. Could be coming back though. In fact, it is. Inside 50, Cody Stackelberg picks it up. Handball to Bolch. Bolch now to Connor Stackelberg. He wheels back around. Intelligently uses the ball, kicks it long towards Nellis, punched away from him. Nellis did well with the second effort. Melican comes in, gets tackled. Could have been a throw. Oh, once again, Stoddart. Express pace, bounce, fend, left foot pass. Oh, Rose. And he's kicked it too. That would have dead set peeled off. A beautiful bit of play for the Swans. Beaten by the siren. 15 points the margin. And at three-quarter time, the Sydney Swans lead. This has been a cracking game of footy here at Voxson Oval for NEAFL Round 19. Streaming through NEAFL TV, through our broadcast partner, Bar TV. How are the stats looking, Riley?
Well, Sydney got right on top there in the last 15 minutes. If you have a look at the overall stats, inside 50s, they're plus 13 now, so they're starting to go a lot more ball forward of it. Clearances plus 16 are the Sydney Swans. Of course, they were beaten in that area pretty decisively last week by the Giants. Hit-outs are relatively even. Free kicks relatively even. Tackles, they're also plus 12. So, Aspley, whilst they've got 23 more disposals, they're a lot more rushed with it at the moment, and there's not as much system for mine currently, especially going against that breeze. They've really coughed it up a few times. They're going to have a job to do in this last quarter because this game, for them, could prove massive in final ladder calculations.
No, absolutely. The individual stats winners, McInerney, has been probably best on ground for mine all day. 23 disposals, or very closely followed by James Rose, 22 and 2 goals. Riley Stoddart's had 20. Sam Wicks has had 19 disposals, but 8 tackles. Special mention, the big ruckman, Michael Knoll, 17 disposals, 7 tackles as well for a ruckman is a great bit of work. Tom Bolch is the leading stats winner for the Hornets with 19 and a goal. 18 to Jasper Craven. Matthew Payne, 15 disposals, a goal and 5 tackles. And Dougie Lawrence, Jake Spencer, 14 disposals apiece. But at three-quarter time, it is the Swans by 15 points on NEAFL TV through Bar TV, back with what should be a very exciting final quarter shortly. Welcome back to Voxson Oval, Graham Road, Aspley. This is NEAFL TV. Round 19, Aspley at home to the Sydney Swans at three-quarter time. It is Sydney leading by 15 points after they trailed by 4 at half-time. They led by 8 at quarter time. It's Michael Price and Riley Staraj calling all of your action. This has been a cracking game, Riley.
It certainly has, and it's a massive final quarter for both of these sides, particularly for Aspley. They have their eyes firmly set on the top 4. But they've got to kick 3 goals at least to try and win this one. It's going to be a ripper in this final term. Rucks go at it. Spencer wins it decisively, but first there McInerney for the Swans. He hand passes it further forward, finds Noel. He's done a couple of nice things. Rose, done a lot of nice things. Over the top to Ling. Breaks the tackle magnificently. He's a lefty as well, so he's going to have to wheel around. Breaks the tackle of Allen. Sets it forward. Hurst is the target. Goes over the back. Almost takes the mark of Marty. Well, he was there, but it was just dived on defensively. And it's going to be a stoppage. I reckon the Aspley defence might consider themselves a tad lucky there.
Oh, just. I thought it was Dougie Lawrence who dived on the ball there, and it could have been pinged. But, benefit of the doubt. Throw up. Amati, out of the pack. It bounces. It hits the post. Goodness gracious me. That could have been something from the big ruckman. 8-10, plays 6-6. Now 16 points the margin. The Swans lead.
So Allen, he's got the ball defensively, and it looks like the Hornets, they initially set up to go middle of the ground. Instead, they go towards half-back outer side. Big fly from Gross. Well, I reckon he had a few more inches on the vertical a few years ago, but he took one nicely nonetheless. Sends it towards half-forward. Not the greatest conveyance, though. Freeman gets the contest down to Murphy. Sends it towards half-forward. Big contest coming up. Beats everybody on the bounce. It's going to go forward. It favours here the Hornets, though. Trying to get it to Giles. Swaney lays the tackle. It eventually falls out towards Eyes, but his hand pass was awful. It found Rose. Goes towards half forward. Hurst is in a one-on-one. He'll get the bounce. He'll break the tackle. He's got some space. He takes a bounce. He takes a second. Hand passes inside to his mate in Thorn. Goes around 20 out. Sets it on its way and butchers it.
Ooh. I will reiterate, the Sydney Swans coaching staff would absolutely adore what they're seeing from Cody Hurst so far. But, yeah, that kick there from was it Thorne, sorry? Yeah, not the greatest. Liam Dawson would be absolutely breathing a sigh of relief. He was burnt off by the young man there. You can see him punching the ground as Hurst took off into the distance. Now we'll get another throw in on the outer side. It's the Swans by 17 points, 2 minutes gone, final term, NEAFL TV. It is the Hornets with the breeze, though, as Noel gets it back and it's kicked towards forward 50. Dawson will eat this one up. The opportunity to redeem. He just targeted that ball. Nobody else was going to get it. Or dangerous, assertive kick into the middle. Rose spoils. Front and square was Templeton. Did well to get the handball away. Still got players free in the guts as Jackson Allen goes backwards. It's coming back out here to Jordan Hayden. He gets rid of his opponent. Handball back now to Dawson. That's more measured stuff from Aspley. John O'Giles takes it right in front of the NEAFL TV commentary box.
And they needed some good measured play there because they put themselves under pressure. But Giles towards half forward. A pack of 4 will form. Well, that's a mark. And that's a ripping mark as well. It was taken by McKellar. He's had a good game. Finds Rose. He's had a brilliant game. Feeds the hand pass further wide. Kick over the tops there. Good. From Pink. Well, it was initially good, but Thurlow couldn't get there. It's still in the field of play. Pink goes again. It's gone out of play. I feel like in this last term, Aspley really need to change the way they move the ball at the moment. It's just Sydney are eating them up for breakfast.
Well, they've got the targets up forward, but they just haven't been effective today. Very difficult for a big marking forward, so perhaps just changing the angles. You might be right, Riley. Spencer slaps it forward. Bolch toes it off the deck. Payne gathers, goes one way, then smartly goes into the middle. Misses the target in Templeton, though. It's loose around 50. Ling gives it back now. It was well done there by McKellar. Chips it forward. He's going to go and get it back in the centre circles. Gets around Arnold. The left shoe's a little awkward. And it stops just enough for Dougie Lawrence to fall short of that. Boy, Craven gets it, though. Gives it back to Gross. That's a relieving handball. Finds Dawson. They'll get out of here.
And Dawson snaps it wide, and that's lucky to pitch in, because it's out of play.
You'd really think Aspley would love to get a goal within the next couple of minutes just to sort of give them that switch on a bit.
I think they need it because they look like they've come out a tad flat into this last quarter. I know it's only early and there's plenty of time, and they do have a breeze, but they've got a task here.
Tremendous amount of running they've had to do in defence.
Absolutely. Towards half forward. It's going to, well, I thought it was going to drop short of Amadi, but he judged it perfectly. He's got players streaming forward. It's just about who he chooses. He goes long towards the square. That's a good mark. And that is a good mark taken from Rayner. He's already kicked one today, the young man from the North Shore Bombers originally. And this is a massive kick for the Sydney Swans.
Oh, a huge kick. He's taken the mark. He's done beautifully. Dougie Lawrence has been very good all day, as has Gavin Gross. But seriously, you need to get some work done here, Aspley, because you're looking very flat, as you called earlier, Riley.
So Rayner, massive kick this one. 20 out, on its way, and it's touched off the boot.
Oh.
That is the cardinal sin in football for mine. That's my pet hate. You're 20 out, you can't get that close to the man on the mark, surely. Well, anyway, 3 goals the game.
That is your get-out-of-jail-free card, Aspley. What a monumental kick from Allen. It's into the centre of the ground. Came off hands. That's at least something to get the Hornets moving in this final term. 6 minutes gone. They trail by 3 straight goals. It's back into the guts. Spencer versus Noel. Congested all around them. James Rose into the fray. It comes now to the commentary wing. It's going to be a race. Getting there first, Craven. Tapped it intelligently, gathers, and then has the poise to get a handball over to Castledine. Now Hayden goes to Templeton. The Sunshine Coast product drills it to Nellis, who doesn't take the mark. Now it's picked up there by Coughlin, who's now... it is Jack Coughlin. He was wearing the number 30. That has been changed to the number 1 jumper after his 30 jumper was covered in the red stuff. And now it looks like he's coming off and the number 1's going to be covered in the red stuff as well. He's not having a productive day. Well, the laundry person at the Aspley Hornets will be having... extra work to do because there's blood on both jumpers for Coughlin. We'll see what number he pops out with next. But we got a ball up right on 50. Umpire blows the whistle back on. What can they do here, the Hornets? Spencer, he gets it down. It's just hacked out of there by Sydney, by McKellar. Into the middle of the ground. How will it bounce? It bounces for Gross, but through his hands, Allen. Handball back to Gross. Gross scrubs it. Oh, dangerous. Swaney over the top to Amadi. Will it sit for him? It does. He holds things up. He's got people running forward. Now he measures at Amadi. It's barling at the back end. No, it's taken there by... Was that... I can't quite get the player at the back there, Riley. Sorry, I was having a look at one of the other players.
Well, I think it might have been Thorne pricing.
It was young Thorne who went in there. That was a pinpoint kick. I thought it was going to the other man, but it was beautifully done by Sydney, and they've extended their lead. It's now 4 goals. Aspley teetering on the brink at the moment.
And that's the first mistake Gavin Gross has made all day. It's an unfortunate one, too, to turn it over in that area of the ground. And you could just see the numbers coming forward there for Sydney. They just saw the chance to put the foot down on that occasion.
Jeez, they've been full of running. Running in this the last part of the third quarter and this first part of the last. Absolutely brilliant.
And it's worth mentioning as well, in 2019, Sydney have not been defeated by a non-AFL affiliated side, and unless something changes, that's going to continue. There's a free kick's been pulled out of that. It's going to go the way of the Hornets. It's going to go to Payne.
Still time enough.
There certainly is time, and they've got the breeze, so it's not an issue of time. It's just a matter of exactly mentioned. If they're good enough, Freeman's got to compete, and he doesn't. Unfortunately, he's had a dirty day, Jono Freeman.
Well, I'd like to
Toby Pink has taken it.
I'd look at it the other way than the positive. Toby Pink has been absolutely outstanding and very difficult for a forward to get anywhere near it when you've got a fullback dominating so much. Well done by Noel, who burnt Spencer off and then peeled around, kicked it long towards Amadi. He did well against Dougie Lawrence. I think they both might have had a hand in each other's jumper. So the ball went over off hands, and we'll have another throw in on the outer side.
We certainly will. And once again, Cody Hurst had about 30 metres of space there. You do not want to let him go.
He sneaks out the back.
He does. He sneaks out the back. And good forwards do that.
Oh, yeah. They know where the sticks are.
So back in the field of play. Noel wins it down with the underhand. But Aspley looked like they're just going to be able to get it out through Payne, who tried to extract a hand pass. Well done from Templeton. Shook the tackle nicely off the non-preferred right foot. Goes forward. Nellis couldn't take the mark. Milliken goes after it. It's out of play. And we'll have a stoppage. So we've played 9.5. There's plenty of time to go, but Aspley, they're going to need to get one very quickly.
Well, 21 scoring shots to 12 so far. It probably shows the Swans' dominance. Having a look at the disposals, James Rose now leads all comers, 26 disposals and 2 goals as well. McInerney with 24. The ruckman, Michael Knoll, 21 disposals, 7 tackles. But Sam Wicks, 21 disposals, 9 tackles. A superb defensive job. Castledine gets it and then loops one inside, attacking 50 for Aspley. Beautiful contest, well met. Freeman versus McKellar. But the Swans will extract it. Off hands. It's coming back through Jordan Arnold. It's a high ball. Inside 50. Anyone's guess here. Freeman attacked it nicely. Payne at the bottom. Handball over the top. Bounces. Misses Templeton though. They bring it out though. It's coming out to the commentary wing. It's going to be turned over again. Aspley. Giles. Bolch. Bolch kicks it in towards Nellis. Once again, Pink all over the top there. And they'll get out of this again, the Swannies, but it's going to be repelled. Aspley, you're underneath it.
And it might be coming back as well. It's a free kick for a block, and that was unnecessary. That was really unnecessary there from Giles and Kilpatrick. Well, I thought he thought he was going to have daylight, but got to go back over the mark. He's got a quick turn of foot, Cooper Kilpatrick.
He's not on his own for Sydney either.
No, he's not.
Ton of pace.
Sends it forward, 2-on-2. The big man will go. Spencer played it like a rover, though. Hand pass to Giles. Ives. Miracle recoveries, we mentioned a couple of times, but the kick wasn't the greatest. Kilpatrick, that was very clever. Foot has got some space. This could be the death killer. Sends it forward over the top, and that's a great kick. And Barling has got the chance. The fat lady wouldn't quite be singing yet, but she'd be warming up the vocal cords. This will send her to 5 straight goals.
Yeah, Jackson Barling, he's kicked 1, kicked 4 last week, as I say, and he's been the benefit of some beautiful disposal in his direction as well. But some of the great work from up the field from the Swans really makes it easier for their forwards.
So Barling sets it on its way, and he's done it very nicely. Aspley have got to kick at least 5, well actually at least 6 to win it now. And time's really starting to become a factor. 10-12, 72 to 6, 42, 12 gone final turn.
When you have a look at it, Aspley were 5-5 at half-time. So since half-time they scored 1 goal, 1. We've been 12 minutes into this final term. They're yet to score. And Sydney have scored 2 goals, 3 against the Breeze. So that really is looking like the tide has well and truly settled in with Sydney at the moment. How do they respond? How did Coach Daniel Webster, how is he feeling inside the box? How does he want them to respond?
It's a fair question.
Well, he's actually out of the box and he's on the boundary line right now, so you're getting a fair idea of how he wants them to respond. He's getting him right into their ear roll. So we'll see how they go in the middle. Spencer versus Noel. I reckon Noel's worked his way into this game beautifully. He might not have won the tap-outs, but he's beating him around the ground. Kicks inside 50 now. Once again, the Swannies with a chance. Barling, full of confidence, brushes one off, gets the handball away. Good tackle from Jordan Arnold, brings the ball to ground. Aspley should be able to get out of here. Ives, Bolch under tremendous pressure. This young Swans outfit have been delivering that all day. And now they've got 3 choices to fly for the mark. Noel again. He's got Rose in the middle. Oh, why not? You've got one of the best on the ground in McInerney standing right beside you. Top of the square. Off hands at the back. Hurst, can he make it? No, Dawson got there first and the ball dribbles over for one behind. 73 plays 42. It's now a 31-point margin. Boy, that escalated quickly.
And it certainly has. And Allen down the middle. Big kick goes into the middle of the ground. Batchelor couldn't take the mark. It comes off hands. Hand passed over the top there. Raffling it now. Thurlow got it away on the hands. It's going towards the boundary. Barling. It's out of play out in the full. So Aspley, 6 goals to win this. There's time, but it's looking more unlikely by the second as it goes inside to Hayden.
So Hayden, just standing in front of his own goal. Just having a look. There's only John O'Freeman's only had the 3 disposals today. So not a lot of opportunity up forward. They'll come forward now. Once again, they miss him. That's the difference between the disposals going towards you forward. I'm sure he's been in the right spots a lot of times, but the disposal has got nowhere near him. When it has, he's had people like Toby Pink all over him. So, tough day at the office for Jono Freeman and the Aspley Hornets today. There was an opportunity to cement finals action as Gross in the ruck gets it down to Luca Mason. He's looping a handball over the top. It bounces for Ives. Shoots it forward, Jordan Hayden. Inside 50. Batchelor's going to have to do a hell of a lot of work here. He's done well, but towed forward there by Kilpatrick. And once again, the Swans will get out of here. Boy, they're streaming forward through foot. He takes Craven on, and that's holding the agate. Play on. Advantage. Craven takes it. Now a long one inside 50. Must be a score for Aspley. Off hands of Freeman. And then he gathers it. He's tackled into the ground. He's appealing for a free kick. He gets one. Well, the second effort was worthy. The free kick. Well, it's crucial for Aspley if they've got any chance of getting back into this contest. And Jono Freeman's got to go back and put this one through from about 35.
He certainly does. He hasn't had the greatest day in the office. We've mentioned that plenty of time. But this can be his moment. And keep the pulse. Very faint at that, but he's got to kick it for his side.
So with only his fourth disposal of the game, Jono Freeman comes in, starts it. Very left, and it hits straight into the post. That might just be that deflating pin in the balloon, Riley Staraj, that ends it for Aspley today. But the Swans have been absolutely brilliant.
They certainly have. They can be very proud of their performance so far, Sydney. It's Thurlow. He's going to bring it long towards the broadcast half-back position. McInerney couldn't take it. It came off the hands of Rayner. Good smother there by Allen. Going in hard, Wicks, Stoddart, and here's a turn of foot that you absolutely love. Forward the foot, he's just got to give the hand pass back and missed the target. Aspley have been let in here. Giles immediately tackled from foot, and he's going to be called a ball up, but just when they have opportunities today, Aspley, on that turnover, they haven't capitalised like the Swans have.
But so the intent on the contest, every contest the Swans are bringing the intent. That could have been a trip to Rose, just stuck the foot out, didn't happen. Billy Murphy floats one forward. Once again, see, the jump there from Freeman is just mistimed, but Toby Pink again was on his shoulder, so the ball's in dispute at ground level. Good tackle from Castledine, brings his opponent down, and it's going to be Matthew Ling who gets up, who's had limited game time today. Of course, he's returning from an Achilles injury, so they're just playing him in patches.
They certainly is. I think they'd just be happy to get him through
unscathed. And he's done very well.
He certainly has. It's going to be tied up again. It looks like Gavin Gross has gone into the ruck at the moment. Wouldn't say that too often. He's up against Amati. Amati wins it down decisively. Better judgment. Thorne tries to pick it up. He gets grabbed by the leg. To be tied up again. So, 17 and a half gone now. Aspley, if they've got any hope, they've got to kick one. And kick a few in pretty quick fashion.
Well, they've only kicked 1-2 since half-time. They have got the breeze, which seems to have dropped off a little, but it's still there. Congestion around the contest. It's hacked out of there by Jackson Allen inside 50. Once again, Pink with his fist to the ball. Castledine did well. Handball came from Stackelberg to Luca Mason. Pushed as he kicked the ball, and it dribbles over the boundary line for a throw in. And once again, and see the players get around their teammate in Matthew Ling, who just affected that kick. Luca Mason, his eyes lit up like dinner plates, and no, put him off. Got to be a throw in.
And I think it's the thing for these non-AFL affiliated side, that just the pace that, like your Sydney Swans reserves and GWS reserves play, is a lot quicker, and the time you might have against others isn't there, as there's a free kick. It's going the way of the Swans. And it's going to go the way of Amati.
He's been brilliant today too, Joel Amati.
He's been brilliant all year. And he sets it up nicely for Thurlow. Tough mark in these conditions, but he's taken it. So you just feel the sting starting to go out of this one a little. Short to Rose. Back to Thurlow. Hand passes. Well, it could be turnover. This is a chance. Stackelberg's got to kick it. I tell you what, that's a great snap. It keeps the pulse alive just. And I emphasise just, but it's there because it's now a 4-goal game. 10-13, the 7-7. 19 minutes gone, final term.
Yeah, once again, another great snap from Stackelberg the older. He is quality when it comes to finishing. He's kicked 25 goals for the year, and he's contributed today where others haven't. But, it just keeps that faint flicker of hope alive. It is now 24 points the margin, so 4 goals straight, 20 gone, final term, plenty of time. The next one would be crucial. And it's a really, it's a good move. It's a different move to have Jake Spencer down in the goal square, Gavin Gross in the ruck. But Gross has got the jump over Amati there. Rose takes it, kicks it forward. Could have been a free kick there to go to Jordan Arnold. It didn't happen. Swans in the middle of the ground. Here's Billy Murphy. Gathered the ball, took on the tackler. Matthew Ling was that tackler. And once again, in the last couple of minutes, he's done some crucial things. They're 1%ers that aren't huge in the stats column, but he's going to be impressing his coaches.
That he certainly will. Amati, well, he took it out of the ruck, extracts a kick. Goes about 30 metres forward. Dawson couldn't take it. McInerney's got it. Wheels around. Gave the hand pass further back. Kick forward from Foot. Trying to find Hurst. He taps it into himself brilliantly. Still in the field of play. Left foot sets it up towards the square. Barling couldn't take it. Craven goes in to try and tap it on. Keeps it in. Breaks the tackle nicely. Goes towards half back. Mason's got a job to do here. Spoils it down at the very least. The Swans will try and converge, though, and kill this game off. Punch forward, further forward. Rose goes in hard. Gets it up. Snap it, goal. That's an inside-out torp. Get that one. Bolch couldn't take it. Aspley have the numbers defensively. There's a player down, actually, so that's why the play stopped. It looks like it might be Cooper Kilpatrick who's down in the pocket.
Yeah, it is. He's just... Oh, you don't know how that is. He's laying face down. He's got the physio people with him. Now he's rolled back over, so at least there's some movement there. He's getting pulled up by the arm, so that's a good move. Good sign, but he's feeling a little bit ill. So he's going to come off with the physio. The umpires will have the opportunity to ball this back up. It's amazing. Sydney, that just slowly but surely have just put the foot down harder and harder on the pedal, and Aspley have been with them all the way through. Just towards the end of the third quarter, start of this last quarter, they really have hammered down, taking advantage of their strengths. They're running, making sure their pace is a factor, and they've played the ground beautifully with the breeze. Spencer did well to get it over the top. But once again, they're just going to hold it up. They've been doing this all day as well. They're not allowing Aspley any movement at the stoppages. The likes of Payne and Ives have been really held up. The Swans now, again, you see the much bigger body, Doug Lawrence. He's been tackled into the ground there by Lachlan Swaney, who's only 18. And the balled up again, 30 metres out.
And it's taken out of the ruck. That's a shot on goal, but it goes across the face, so it's going to be a foot race towards the pill. Getting it away, Dawson. Hayden just tries to keep it in. Now it's sent inside 50 from Foot, who just came off the bench. No mark taken there from McKellar. Rose immediately tackled. Well done from Astley. They should be able to repel. Payne gets the football, does a little bit of a run, goes forward. Freeman, I think that's his first mark all day, and he's taken it 23 minutes into the final term. Goes wide, finds Hayden. They've got to move it quickly here, Aspley, but the problem is there's not that many tall targets ahead of the ball, so he's going to have to bring it inboard. Dangerous kick, especially when Foot's there, but he's dropped the mark he'd probably normally take. Handball comes out. Pink goes in there. Bounces off. It's eventually cleared forward from Foot. That's a mark to Barling. And Barling can just chew up some time and go short, and you'll find Rose right on the boundary.
And just for added measure, Rose just sticks the 1 mid out and just drags it in with one hand there off the pass. He probably deserves to have a crack at this goal and bang it through, does James Rose. He's had a monumental day. As we've said, he's already kicked a couple of goals, but he's just been that kind of player. He's now top of the charts with 29 disposals and 2 goals, so be very close to best on ground. Him and McInerney with 28 disposals.
He'll wheel around, he'll set it up towards the pack. Marty's the tall for the Swan, but good mark there coming across from Lipscomb.
And that was a good mark, and they held Amati up then, and that's what they need to do, is they haven't done enough of that body work team-wise, Aspley. As Hayden goes wide, it's going to bounce between Lawrence. Oh, well done there. It was Melican who came through and left Dougie Lawrence on the ground. Ball stuck underneath Billy Murphy. Just a great attack on the ball there. Just the intent that Sydney have been bringing all day. Ball up on the outer side. Spencer and Noel. Spencer wins this one. Wicks, tackled by Hayden, still gets a toe to it. They're going to extract it again. It's well done by McKellar. He bounces it towards half forward. What can the Hornets do here? Oh, just a deft little touch from Barling. Gave it to Hurst. Over the top there of Dawson and Amati. It sort of almost nutmegs Jackson Allen as Amati and Dawson both quite sore. Oh, the mark dropped by Lipscomb. Stoddart. Now it's Barling. From 45, he steadies and hits it across the face of goal. It's going to bounce and go out of bounds. Another throw in. Probably just didn't read that little wind there and torched a teammate at the same time.
Maybe Margaret, we're just having a look here at Joel Amati. He's looking worse for wear at the moment.
It was a very physical contest, and he's been banging in all day in the ruck and up forward.
That he has, but he's just heading towards this contest. Just off it, actually, so it looks like he's going to try and stay on the ground for the moment. As the ball comes back in, Spencer, well, he's almost missed that completely. Swaney went in, but eventually Spencer gets the clearance, and he's just gone long, gross the target. Oh, that's almost a mark to Melican. It's kicked forward, and Cody Stackelberg's taken it. Now, Aspley have got to go quickly. If there's any chance, they've got to go quickly and decisively. It goes wide. It's a nice kick as well, kick down the line. It's being taken by Gross. Noel goes on the mark, so Gross feels like he's got the pace. Wheels around. He's put it in front of the contest, and Toby Pink just had better position like he's had all day, and he's taken the saving mark.
Yeah, he's just had a ripping day, Toby Pink. He's not going to have the level of stats of many other players, but he has been crucial. That was a kick too close to the boundary line, and again, the wind's taken it over there, so Gavin Gross will get the free kick out of bounds on the full. For the Aspley Hornets, wearing their heritage Guernsey from 64 to 69, the club. Nice touch as well. Templeton can't quite take the mark, but he butters up, has another crack. Cody Stackelberg back to Templeton, onto the left foot. Wobbles one inside 50. Batchelor fisted it down. Connor Stackelberg tackled into the ground. Well done. And held inside 50 for Aspley. And the tackling came again. The Swans just bringing plenty to the table.
So back in the field of play. There's a free kick. It's going to go the way of the Swans. Their defence has been so resolute all afternoon. And it's a real credit to them. Melican, he'll take the receiving mark. Wheels around, heads towards the broadcast side of the ground. Stoddart's in the best position. He takes it beautifully. He's had a great game, Riley Stoddart. Provided so much dash. Goes short. Flanagan. The Swans, well, they're just content to chip it. Not the greatest conveyance of the ball, though. Pink falls over. Hand passes over the back of his head. Flanagan again. Goes short, and it was a good kick as well, and the Swans will be able to repel through the middle of the ground. Rose is there for the receive. Wicks tries to get it. Finds Rose. Rose goes forward. Amati on his own. Oh, that's a good mark from Joel Amati. As been mentioned a few times, he's had a very good game. As there's been a 50-metre paid, and he's going to kick a goal here, Joel Amati. He certainly deserves it.
Well, he's got the one today, so he deserves at least a couple.
So Amati will kick a goal. Well deserved for the big man. And Sydney are going to go to a well-deserved win here. They're going to have a 5-goal lead, very late stages, final term. It's 11-13-79 to 7-7-49. We played almost 29 minutes into the final quarter. You know, in the context of this season, Sydney, they'll move to 10-6 this afternoon. And they'll be thereabouts in the top 4 position. Whilst for Astley, they move to 9-7. They look like they were perfectly set for potentially a top 2 finish, but they fell against Uni 2 weeks ago at home, and they've fallen decisively here this afternoon to the Swans.
And what a finish from the Swans too. As we've said, Aspley, they've kicked 2 goals, 2 for this second half, whereas the Swans have come out and kicked 7 goals, 6. So they're doing it beautifully, and they've really put in a big effort here at Voxson Oval. There's Coughlin wearing the number 1. Kicks it round inside 50. Pink versus Freeman. Pink's been monumental all day. Gives it off the Rayner back to Pinky. Hoiks it towards the outer wing. Bouncing towards Craven. Good bump there from Jackson Allen to get involved and help out for the Hornets. Gets back involved. But once again, the weight of numbers are with the Sydney Swans here. Ball stuck underneath all players, and we'll have another ball up. There is 30 minutes to go, 30 minutes gone of this final term, and 30 points the margin in favour of the Sydney Swans.
Nice numerology there. Pricey as Payne gets the clearance. Trying to find Stackelberg. Overrun it. Gross is in there for the Hornets. Can't quite pick it up. Then he's pushed over. Hand pass further forward. Foot can get on the receiver. This, it was an intelligent soccer from a teammate. Now he'll get it. Runs about 10 metres. Left foot inside the 50. Amati the target just over his head. And it's out of play. Aspley have been dominated today, Pricey, and I think there's going to be a couple of questions coming out of this one for them.
I think you'd have to say so. From the word go, Sydney have just basically been in front. Aspley edged in front just before half-time, but immediately after half-time, Sydney jumped back in front and they haven't been stopped.
Amati won it down. It's going to be an Aspley clearance full. That's a great mark taken there from McKellar. Be able to wheel around, sends it inside the forward 50. Lawrence is in the best position. That's a good mark as well. He's been paid it. He's been serviceable today, Dougie Lawrence.
Well, he's had a lot of work to do.
He certainly has. It's his camp down there in the second half. Towards the wing. Half back towards the wing position. Spencer goes over back and down on the foot.
So we're just having a few technical difficulties here. There's the breeze playing havoc not only with the football but with the electronic equipment here at Voxson Oval. It's late in the game. The Sydney Swans, well, they've been the surprise packet today. They have dominated Aspley on their home deck. Goes back in towards full forward and over the boundary line.
So there's the throw-in. It goes over the back of Marty, couldn't quite get it. Castledine. After it, it's sent further forward towards the centre of the ground, but Pinky's been one of the Swans' best. Sets it up. Well, that kick's just held in the air. And Lawrence, well, he's dropped one he probably should have taken. Hurst, he's been brilliant today. This is another deserved goal if he can kick it, and he does. Cody Hurst. That's number 4 for him. And Sydney, it's been a magnificent performance after a trying couple of weeks. They were competitive against the Brisbane Lions 2 weeks ago at Blacktown, but lost by 5 goals down there. And then last week against the GWS Giants were dominated in a lot of statistical areas and came out with a 14-point loss. So it's a good return to form for them. And it's a 6-goal margin now. That's number 4 for Hurst. He's shown a lot today. I quite like the way he's played, and I feel like he's got a bit of a future in this AFL competition. So we're heading towards the final moments of this one. It's been a really, for Aspley, they've been quite flat this afternoon. They thought they returned back to form very nicely after a win against Redlands last week, but there's going to be a few questions about them coming out of this one, you feel. Spencer wins it down. Payne is tackled by McKellar. The umpire says, give it to me. As we tick to about 33 minutes final term. Noel wins it down. Trying to get its Payne. He couldn't quite. Hand pass back from Thorne. There's the siren. Sydney's record against non-AFL affiliated sides remains perfect. They've beaten the Aspley Hornets here by 6 goals. 12-13, 85 to 7-7, 49. It was a fantastic First 2.5, 3 quarters, but after that, Sydney got right on top, and they run out deserved winners. We'll just run you through the goal scorers here, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Hurst, of course, picked up in the mid-season draft. He kicked 4 this afternoon. He was magnificent today for them, whilst 2 to James Rose, probably best on ground. Barling kicked 2. Rayner kicked a goal, and Joel Amati kicked a goal as well, so they had a really nice even spread. Whilst for the Hornets, it must be said at times it was quite disappointing for them. It looks like it was all single goal kickers to Nellis, Dawson, Giles, Connor Stackelberg, Will Murphy, Matthew Payne. So, very decisive. You just look at some of the other statistics as well in terms of leading disposal getters. James Rose, he figures up there pretty prominently.
Oh, James Rose had a blinder, 31 disposals, 2 goals. Sam Wicks with 30 and 10 tackles. 10 tackles for the game. That was crucial. McInerney, 29 disposals. And again, the big ruckman, Michael Knoll, 25 disposals. He had 7 tackles as well. Tom Bolchers had 24. Matthew Payne with 22 and the end Jasper Craven with 22. The inside 50s would have to be the biggest disparity that you would have thought out of everything.
Yeah, they certainly were. Inside 50s, 67 to 44, especially in that second half. Sydney just got a lot of the ball. If you look at clearances as well, between Wicks and Rose, they had 18 between them. McInerney also got 6, and the big man in Knoll, he ended up having 25 possessions. They really controlled the game after half-time because Aspley, as we've mentioned, were actually in front at half-time. But after that, it was all the Sydney Swans, and they come out with a very good victory.
And you have a look at next week. Well, the Sydney Swans take on the Gold Coast Suns at Tramway Oval, and Aspley travel to UNSW Canberra Oval, the scene of last night's snow, to take on the Canberra Demons. And that is going to be a big, big game, considering Canberra will be pushing for the bottom end of that top 6 as well. But for today, it is the Sydney Swans returning to Graham Road and inflicting a bit of pain on Aspley. And they've won this one by 26 points on behalf of Riley Staraj. I was going to call him Riley Stoddart again. Tim, the great man, the technical man who's kept us on air with chicken wire and a rubber band, Jess Webster, Ben Hunter and all of the NEAFL crew. Well done. We'll catch you next time for NEAFL TV through Bar TV.